minutes early. We're going to go over now. A little bit early.
The rollover is now, guys. Just be cautious. Don't go crazy leading into this print. Let JP talk a little bit. Let the volatility cool down, and then you can base trades off of that, guys. Other than that, I wish everyone a successful day. And if you're in the GTA, drive safe, everyone.
Yes, sir. See you guys.
There it is. Thank you, boys. Welcome everybody in, as I think everyone will trickle in rolling over. We got about 11 minutes. And then at that point, well, we'll hear, you guys won't hear it, but we'll hear in our ear, and Dara will hear in her ear, quarter point basis cut, or I think you usually frame it, sometimes we'll frame it the actual percentage you're moving to. So we'll get the quarter point cut, and we'll get the reaction in the market, which sometimes isn't crazy when it's as expected. And then, of course, at 2:30, we'll have Powell coming on the podium, going to the podium. And we're going to go to Adara quickly, but we'll take in all of the action. And there has been some movement going into this, like Bitcoin's starting to move around a little bit in anticipation. Adara?
Yeah, we're going to be back here and giving a lot more attention to this in about 10 minutes once that number comes out. But here's just what it's going to look like. We're going to look at this screen here. We're going to tell you guys what the Fed interest rate decision is. And also, we're going to be getting these summary economic projections. We do not get that every meeting, so that's certainly going to be something to be aware of. Again, I'll go over all of that for you guys. We'll also get the rate statement. We're going to kind of see crossed out what has been changed or added or removed from the last statement. So all of that I'll be going over for you guys right here. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, at the US dollar, and yeah, and again, just to remind everybody, as Sean and Neil said, 25 basis point rate cut is what's expecting, but there's a lot of speculation that we might get a more hawkish Powell conference coming through at 2:30 p.m., so keep that in mind. Back to you.
Also got some lunch over here. I didn't even have my lunch yet.
Let me know what you think of that.
I think it's pretty good so far. I mean, I just had one little piece of beef. I'm going to try to eat and trade at the same time. So.
I thought the beef was...
What is this side?
I thought the beef
plain,
was...
or I don't know.
Yeah, it was like zero seasening in the beef.
Oh, okay.
It was completely plain.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Thai basil, so I don't know.
Yeah, they said it was Thai basil. We're talking about our lunch, everybody. And it was very, very plain. Okay. But hopefully the markets aren't plain. I see a few people in the chat.
They might be.
Still rolling in here. Hopefully we get some crazy action. Look, at the end of the day, on the outside, I mean, like way out there, low probability, according to Kalshi, 2% or maybe 2.5%, or if you're actually looking at the CME tool, it's still 10%, the chance that we don't get a cut. I think you're just really thinking, okay, well, what would you short? I think short open door or IWM, but we're going to get the cut. So I think you just sort of react to what we see. I'm going to be on Bitcoin and open door. Those are the ones that I like. Now that we're less than 10 minutes to go, as I said, Bitcoin is really starting to move. Like it was, tight range, but in the last like half an hour or so, the volatility has more or less doubled on Bitcoin. So I think some of the levels starting to come in could be good for that rubber band action that we usually, right? When I say rubber band action, like initial, you get expected, maybe you play some bounces off of lows or some rejections of highs and little scalp trades. And then after 2:30, when Powell's in the press conference, which we will show live, everybody, then you get down to the nitty gritty of maybe making an actual trend.
Yeah, look, we're, I mean, let's just think about it. If the market does get that rate cut, I mean, what do we expect? The market right now is pricing in that rate cut, right? So I don't think the market's going to be overly volatile if and when we get that. There it is right there, 89% chance right now of that Fed rate cut. So I don't expect too much dancing here. If it comes out, we'll hear it in our ear, and then we'll just go over and we'll have a look at sort of what's been going on, right? I mean, I'm looking at JP Morgan on a battle back today, made back half of what it lost yesterday. So that's nice. The bank's starting to rock and roll. SoFi's starting to go back up to the upside. And look, man, I mean, I'm glad that Neil's talking about Bitcoin, but right on to here, that's literally the only thing I wrote down on my thing about the Fed was be careful today with Fed. And I haven't traded at all. I went to the gym, just got back from the bank literally 5 minutes ago. So right now, IBIT, we're going to short, watch it here, watch the reaction, looking for a short in IBIT. So we'll see if that can happen with Bitcoin. Last time we got the Fed rate cut, Bitcoin went to the downside. So we'll see if that could happen there today. And again, it's the dot plot, right? We'll look to see where is the extension moving out forward here into the new year, right? Are we going to get those 2 rate cuts? Are we going to get 3 rate cuts next year? Are we going to get 1? What does that plot look like? I think the market wants 2, if not 3. So if we only get 1, I could see the market getting to the south side. So I'm actually going to be bias short for this. So I'm looking right now, we trade the TQQs. Today we had Palantir at the lows. I mean, crazy that we just were getting nervous there and got out right before he left to go to the gym there. It ripped right back up. But Palantir is going to be my P&L number 1. And then the other name I have today is NVIDIA. And boy, oh boy, was that good to get out of NVIDIA once that broke those levels, because we were long and then boom to the downside. So we're just still those 2 for 2, but we're looking at what could move on rate cuts, right? So I'll be looking at the Nasdaq, big names like Apple, you know, a big consumer name. This could move around a bit as well. But ultimately, it's just looking forward to what's coming next, right? And if you look here, if we go all the way out and we say right now we're going to be 350, 375. So if we go out to next December, right, and you sort of look, this is where it is right now. There's a third chance that it's only to 303 1/4. So you're talking about 2 rate cuts. So you're looking at 2 more rate cuts after today, and that's 25 basis points. So that's where the market is priced right now. It's a quarter, basically a quarter, like it's almost like pretty even here. They're saying that there's a 10% chance that we have no rate cuts next year. You know, there's a 25% chance of 1 rate cut next year, 30% chance of 2, 21% chance of 3, and then, you know, it's getting a little boring doing this over and over again. But I think this is what's going to be important, right? It's the dot plot. And this is the best look at a dot plot from a chart, that perspective anyways. There was just a story up there. I didn't see what it was.
I think it's JP Morgan's Michelle has been making some comments.
Okay.
Expecting bull markets into year end. There have been a few.
Yeah, I expect it into year end, of course, yeah.
There are also JP Morgan's Michelle saying it's not, it is, it's 100% deal with Hassett.
Oh, okay, so that's done.
They're saying Hassett's basically a done deal.
And we know he's a cutter.
Yeah, he's definitely a cutter for sure. But I mean, you have to have that consensus. So it's
cutter.
He's only
no, cut up those rates.
Got to.
Hassett.
But I don't know when we're going to get that announcement. That's the other thing. I mean, it's all well and good for everyone to be saying it's going to be Hassett.
I mean, remember, guys, like everyone's saying Powell's going to pull the rug here on his last. What's up there?
For what it's worth, Hassett said himself that you'll get the announcement in 1 to 2 weeks. He just said this. He also said that he is honored to be considered. So we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
What else are you going to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I'm honored to be your next Fed chair. No, I'm not honored at all.
I don't want to be able to retire with $100,000 appearance fees. Why would I want to do that?
I mean, imagine what they like with Bernanke and all these guys yelling and everybody that's just, you know, been through. They've all done quite well for themselves, and they're all rich to begin with, anyways. Okay. Oh, what I was going to say. Here we go. What does Papa Powell want to do? He will cut rates by 25 basis points. But this is what I wanted to. This is what I wanted to go over. Right? Was just the fact that it's not Powell that makes the decisions on these rate cuts. It's a vote.
Yeah.
So he's just the talk. He's the face.
The figurehead.
He's the head of it all. You know, it's not like Donald Trump or anything, like where he doesn't have that power is what I'm saying, where he could just say, tariffs, forget about it, or, you guys voted rate cut? Nah, we're not going to do that. We're actually going to raise. So that kind of stuff, as far as I understand, doesn't have that kind of push. So we'll see, again, the talk from the meeting. I think that's what we're going to do. And that's why it's so important at 2:30 when he hits the podium.
It's not more important, I think.
It's more important, I would say, yeah. But, hey, there's still a 10% chance. So what do you think the market does if it's a pause?
Tank,
yeah.
Well, very specifically, the more rate-sensitive names. Like, I'm thinking, like, IW, like, if for some reason, like, I still think we're going to get a cut. But if there isn't a cut, I'll look at, like, things like Open Door, the IWM, maybe some of the EV names, some of the frothier things in the market. You know, have a look at the quantum stuff. Like, those kind of things I think will probably get hit the hardest if you're looking for something to do. I saw someone in the chat saying there was a new, and again, I'm just reading what somebody said, there was a new Polymarket account.
Oh, was there?
Someone just put anyways, that bet 40 thou. Kudos to them. That there would not be a cut.
They bet $40,000 there would not be a cut.
Yeah, so somebody stands to make like 1.6 million.
Yeah,
So
they will lose.
People that make those types of bets, or stands to lose $40,000. Obviously, is the way that you should also be able to look at that. So in 2 minutes or so, or maybe just slightly before that, we will go to Adara. You're expecting to hear that there's a cut. If you don't, then expect some chaos. If you do,
Yeah.
I don't know if it will be all that chaotic.
SMR down 6% already. I mean, to your point, some of these weaker names that sometimes need funds to develop are already starting to get hit here. If there is no cut, I would say Neil's going to be right. I mean, what is that signaling for the market? Are they that worried about the jobs market? Are they that worried about the monetary policy they currently have? Like, why would they not cut right now? If the fact that there's 98 to 2% chance there on Kalshi, that's probably right. Remember, Kalshi nailed Carvana as well. Yeah, so what's up, Jero, in the chat there? Fed talks, and there's an Intel conference right now. Is there? I don't know. Intel got smoked early and made it all the way back pretty much, only down 1%. All right, guys, we are now 2 minutes away. We will have on this stream, most likely, as long as we're thinking about it, we'll probably put Powell in the corner there once he's on, and with some of the closed captions and whatnot, so you guys can figure that out. But remember, the best thing to do is turn your volume way up. I promise I won't yell, because Adara is going to give us all the strike throughs, all the new wording, anything like that. If she hears anything about dot plot, she's going to come there. And we're also focused, of course, on his tie color. So we're ready for that one to come through, hopefully purple.
I don't even know what color means what.
Is what we're looking at. We don't have any positions.
No.
So people saying positions not showing, yeah, Bowie or Bowie.
I almost never have positions going.
I'm not, and if I do have something, it'd be a runner. And right now we've already exited out of everything, so now we have 1 minute left. I'm just gonna go over, let's just watch the Nasdaq. I'll watch the Qs here. We'll probably trade with the TQs again, trade with a $50 name instead of a $600 name. But here we go. We are now moments away, getting anxious right now. 45 seconds until we figure this all out. I think Powell's done a fantastic job. Let's see what his last important decision is here today in guiding the Fed towards potentially a cut. 30 seconds, Adara.
Again, guys, we are expecting a 3.75% here. Prior was 4%, so we're expecting that 25 basis point cut. We're going to be getting this now in about 20 seconds. And also, as Sean mentioned, there's other things to remember as well. There's the dot plot. There's a summary of economic projections. There's also, if there were any dissenting votes, the last couple Feds, we have had dissenting votes. So just be aware, all of these things are worth factoring in as we are now 5 seconds away from this very likely rate cut. And it is out as expected. We got a 25 basis point cut from the Fed. As I get more detail on the vote or the summary of economic projections, I'll let you know. Let's take a look at the market. Market pushing higher here as we send you back to Sean and Neil to react to this. I'm going to be keeping you guys updated as I get more info.
All right, so there it is, man. 25 basis point cut. I just punched into the TQs here, and the reason why is there was that. Okay, let's go. I mean, here we go again, man. We're making a little bit of money now, long now. Voted 9-3. So there it goes. Yes, sir. Wow. What a call, my guy, right there as we continue to go higher. So I just said, like, hey, if it's going to be a cut, then the market is expecting it. So here we go, man. Nice upside move right there. We're in a bull market. We know that. And here it goes. Nice move to the upside. Neil, that's what we're talking about right there. It's another one. We'll fire it off. Props up to those longs as we get a little higher. Waiting now for a continued move. We're going to exit out of this trade and then see what the secondary move is.
Yeah, we'll see what the secondary move is. We're going to go to Adara very quickly just for more context because we are hearing it come through our ear. Adara, what do you have for us?
This was a 9-3 vote, guys. We had 3 dissenting votes, which is I certainly was not expecting. It is worth noting, apparently the 2 Fed members who were voting in favor of no rate change, that's Schmid and Goolsby. So Schmid last time also voted against the rate cut. Goolsby joining him. I have not seen who voted in favor of a larger rate cut. Myron has the last couple meetings, but if I get updates on that, I will let you know. They also said they're going to be buying $40 billion of Treasury bills over the next 30 days. As I start to see the actual statement, how things have changed, I'll let you know. But here's the DXY, which is certainly pushing lower. This is the 15-minute chart. Take a look here at Bitcoin as well. BTC, much like the market, trying to move a little bit higher, although it's actually given up a lot of that initial wick to the upside. I'm going to look through the summary of economic projections. But again, it is worth noting, I'm seeing 3 dissenting votes apparently.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, 9-3, which is exactly what.
Yeah, I just said that earlier. I'm surprised because I had actually read that there was going to be at least 3.
That was what we expected.
Nice to see 3 there, and so that was a good one there. All right, man, we are out of 75% of this trade. So we just nailed that right there, putting us obviously where we need to be on this trade. And I'm going to stop out if it goes flat. So let's just wait to see what's going on right now with the Nasdaq. Nice little shoot higher there. And if this goes against me, it won't. It will come out. So if we do come back in for this, we're going to get out of here. You know, the market could easily just tank now. That was exuberance there, so we got out at 75%. And just going to hold and see if there is continuation. If there is not, fine by me, man. 57 has been the top anyway. So right now I'm long the market.
Absolutely. I want to give a big shout out, if we can, to AIML, everybody. Are we ready? There we go. Why? Because you've heard your heartbeat 100,000 times today, and probably a few more on Fed Day as well. Every beat's a data point. AIML Innovations turns that data into potentially life-saving insights and max yield. And AI Engine filters that noise, labels each heartbeat with lab-grade precision, and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. The mission is to revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Learn more at aiml.health or follow at AML/Innova on X. Let's go back to Adair. A bit of a reversal coming in here. Bitcoin coming back in. I'm watching Open Door as we are getting pretty decent reversal, Adair.
Yeah, so that might be because there's a lot of sense here, at least that's how people are interpreting this, that yes, the Fed cut rates, but they might want to slow this down going forward. Now, they're apparently seeing rates at 3.4% in 2026 and 3.1% in 2027. That's in the median. They're predicting one rate cut for 2026, one for 2027, and zero for 2028. Now, I have this up here. Here's a summary of economic projections. Kind of hard to see. I'll try to zoom in as much as I can here. But as you can see, GDP here, median compared to the September projection, actually a little bit stronger. So Fed is now seeing a median GDP for 2025, 26, 27, and 28, all above their estimates back at the most recent SEP that would be back in September. Unemployment rate, though, is actually exactly the same, more or less. So unemployment rate view for the Fed has not changed from September. PCE is interesting. They're actually seeing a little bit lower PCE here on the median now than they were in September. So interesting look. Again, as I get the rate statement, I'll let you know. I have not seen it float around yet. I just saw it now, so give me a second, guys. Back to you.
All right, so I'm going to go short, as I said I would, on Bitcoin. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening. Our trade came right back in, and we got out where we got in. So good trade there for sure. And then I told you guys, I did the work. We're going to see what Bitcoin wants to do right now into this move. Nice move higher. I'm going to stop out if it breaks 60s right here. We're going to see if it does touch back down a little lower. So I'm in position. Again, it's not showing it, but I'm in position right now, short right here with IBIT.
Yeah, I'm over in the same. That's right. Yeah, you said it's not working. I'm sitting at 40s on IBIT, looking for it to just give me the body of that wick for sure. I did jump into open off of the high as well. That's going to be open door. Yeah, as it came off the top. There it goes. You just had to take a fill.
Yeah, I took one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so open door off of the high. If it makes a new high wick, it's been resistance all day long. So just basically giving it to that topping tail wick. If the market wants to break out, congratulations if it does. But I'm playing that. Going to play like until 2:30 at least. Going to sort of play off of support and resistance to the best of our abilities. We're going to go back to Adair. We got another update.
Here's the statement, guys. There actually weren't that many changes except for just them saying that reserve balances have declined to ample levels, and they're going to start initiating purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities. That's really the only substantially updated thing, in addition to the fact that we now actually have as well 3 dissenting votes. So Fed's Myron, as I said earlier, he was likely the person who voted in favor of a larger than expected cut. That is in fact the case. Austin Goolsbee, as I mentioned, in addition to Schmid, voting to keep rates in place. But yeah, let's talk here about the statement in and of itself. Again, like this paragraph hasn't even really changed. One of the biggest changes here, in addition to the decision to lower the rate and the actual rates, is this wording here of further adjustments to policy. So they're usually, or before they said, in considering additional adjustments to the target range for the Fed funds rate. Now they're saying the extent and timing of additional adjustments. So the Fed is basically saying, yes, there will be more adjustments. We're not sure when, and we're not sure the extent of what they will be. So that is interesting as well. For what it's worth, head of global fixed income over at JP Morgan, Bob Michel, he apparently is live and analyzing these comments, and he said that the Fed has a, quote, hawkish tilt at this meeting. So this might be that hawkish cut that we were hearing analysts talk about. Guys, back to you.
Right, it's a round 2 fight. The market is now ripping right back. So we're going to get stopped out, it looks like, of this crypto space very, very soon here on the move higher. But we've just averaged into it. We're not again, not taking huge positions here right away at 2 o'clock. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe right now. Be part of this action every single day. I mean, we'll sit here, I'll give you the news, give you everything real time. We know for fact that there's other stations watching us that do this kind of thing as well. So we want to thank you for watching the real one right now with Trader TV Live. And here we go, man. Nice little move lower here for IBIT. We'll wait to see if it goes, but I'm short right here at 35. So kind of a flattish trade right there. But it's nice to see what's happening in the market, man. There it goes, boom. We got stopped out of a quarter of it. We got it at 75%, then got stopped out. It's risk management, man. If you're joining us for the first time, that's what I'm all about, is that risk management. I know you're in
IBIT just blow. Oh, sorry,
open door.
That's that's what I meant to say. Open door just blew out the top and is continuing to go as well. Though the Nasdaq is going to do this. I'm going to try to avoid flipping symbols as often. The Nasdaq is blowing to the high, not through, to the top. So I still don't mind playing off the edges here. And I like open just because of the reaction the last time. Like when the market was doing its back and forth reversals, it tended to move a heck of a little bit more. Same thing with Bitcoin. That was the experience. NVIDIA, for everyone out there looking, NVIDIA busting through VWAP, been relatively weak. If you awaken NVIDIA here, that could help you get through the top. Sellers all day long on NVIDIA have been in control. So this one getting through VWAP would be absolutely huge. Guy in the chat, I see you there talking about G Vernova. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. And we'll talk about some individual names and things like that a little bit later on. But right now, it's really the reaction in the market, which is attempting to bust those highs. I think you want to pay attention to some of the bigger names. Are they able to follow through? Right now, NVIDIA is making a pretty strong attempt.
Yeah, I just wanted to give some quick updates here. The Fed saying they're watching both sides of their mandate and that downside employment risks have increased. They also said that, again, policy or outlook here, uncertainty about the outlook does remain elevated. So some more concerns here for the Fed.
So it's too early to be into this short, by the way. We need to wait until Powell eventually speaks.
20 minutes.
So, like, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, okay, what's Adair going to say? But what can she say? Like, it's a prepared speech, basically. They're just going to read it and then strike through some notes and strike through some letters and talk about the dot plot and all that. So that's already out, and the market's digesting it right now. So I think we got to wait a minute. I'm going to give it to that top of 70s. We don't have as many shares as I thought I would have, so I kind of switched my stop just a little bit higher into there. We could realistically come back up to here, but if the news is good and it just keeps on running, then we might as well just stop out of this one. I'm glad Bitcoin's going up. I mean, okay, did it even break 70 there? But we got out anyways. Anyway, I'm not going to get back into that right now. So, okay, we got out there, so we'll have to hit fail. That's going to be our losing stock there. So we have 3 good, 3 bad. But IBIT maybe just too much. Like we don't need to get in. I think we were right with our first little thought there. But I don't know, maybe we just got stopped out at the top. I don't know. I'll put on a little bit. I'll put something back on, but very, very small, just more to watch it. I do think at 2:30 this market does go the other way. But right here, we talked about Bitcoin. I'm into that one. And then I just wanted to see here, let's see what the dollar's doing, the DXY right now in the US dollar. Normally we have it up on our screen, but I don't think we don't have that right now. We used to have some of those indexes and whatnot. So you can see the dollar making moves down right now, and Nasdaq going back up on a weak US dollar. So that makes a little bit of sense. So there it goes on the Fed rate cut downside right there. The TLT, the Treasury, down as well. So down dollar, down 20-year right now. Other than that, we talked about where Bitcoin's going and what the market's going. Market's going higher.
VIX is asleep.
Yeah, that won't be doing anything right now.
VIX is asleep at the wheel right now. Why do I have a 4-hour up there? Let's go to a 15. Doing absolutely nothing here. I mean, slightly, very, very slightly creeping to the upside on the 15-minute. And you want to keep an eye on a few of these things.
Oh, boy,
if something starts to get out of whack, right, then you want to pay attention. So VIX not doing anything, as you mentioned, watching USD. There's G Vernova up 16%. Oh, they have the power, no questions asked. It feels like you just go back to, wow, regular scheduled programming for that stock. They almost don't care what's happening. The market can't break the high. It can break the high. They raised their guidance. Obviously, that's an AI play because it's all about energy, all about power. So wait until we got to the next top. I said until Powell comes on at 2:30, I just want to play inside the ranges. So had it gone down to 7, I would have been long. I would have been looking for the long 7. Tried it off the current high, yesterday's high here. I'm talking about open doors. You can see here 750. So when it wicked that, short it. I'll look back into the prior high for that trend trade. Yeah, and And you're welcome out there. Anybody, if you're interested in a particular name or there's something you'd like us to cover or you have a question, first you got to hop in the chat. To do so, you have to be a subscriber. So hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and I will ask you one favor if you're new. When you type a symbol, use the $sign. Or $sign, let's just say, oh, can we reset that? I should reset it before I do this. Let's reset the visualizer, which is this thing. We're going to reset it. And then now go $sign so I can show you. I'm going to go $sign SLV because people always want to know how silver and gold are doing. And most of them will start popping in. There we go. Now they're starting to populate. And then you'll start to see what matriculates all the way up to the top. Why is, okay, first of all, it should only do stocks. There's no $sign. BBIG coming in there as well. Warby Parker, it looks like going to be interesting for some people. But we'll keep track and then see what pops to the top of the list. It's an easy way for us to be able to cover what you guys are interested in.
Yeah, exactly. And we made money on TQs, gave it back on IBIT, and just waiting here to see if we do take out that top here on Bitcoin. I mean, what is it signaling? It's signaling one rate cut in 20. I didn't, what's that dot plot looking like, Adara?
Yeah, I was seeing, from what I've seen, it looks like they're seeing maybe 1 in 26, 1 in 27, none in 2028.
28, okay, I'm not worried about that, but okay, bearish. So that's bearish. So this is why I'm short right now. I'm short IBIT.
That's a short.
We could go short the market as well if we wanted to, but I'm already here right now. So we'll sit on this one. That doesn't, I mean, that's not, we just showed you where the expectation was. It was a 33% chance of 3 next year. So, you know, if they're gonna go to 1, that can't be good, but also it could be, right? I mean, you don't need to, it's not rate cuts aren't the only thing that moves the market. So they could be seeing good earnings. They could be happy with the job market. They don't need to cut rates. So we'll see. And then, you know, he's going to be called Mr. Too Late again if something happens. But, you know, we do have a change in management coming, obviously, at the head there. So let's just be patient here and watch it. Like, I'm not seeing any outside move other than my main man over here, Palantir, which is now up 4% today. And we were long already at 182.50. I mean, to be up $7 on this trade, we've done it before, but that would have been crazy to hold through the release there. But 189 and change for Palantir. Look, everybody, hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. We're back, we're trading. We're gonna have Powell up in just a couple seconds. Once he takes the podium at 2:30, things will start moving around. I mean, I don't know if banks are moving. Like, I don't think, if there's anything that's moving outside, let us know. iRobot's still moving today. JP Morgan's made back half of its loss from yesterday, which is great news. SoFi, boom, shakalaka. That's good, man. We're now above 27 again, and that continues to go higher. Uber was getting killed earlier today. Let's see if that still is.
I think Uber is bad. Check out Lyft.
At $84. Yeah, I mean, Uber and I guess Lyft would probably be much worse. Uber down 6%. Some guys just trying to get long on Uber, so that's a good move by that guy.
Ain't nobody trying to be long Lyft.
I don't know, maybe they're trying to be long Lyft. I don't know either.
Nobody.
But NVDA right now, 183. So some of these names just aren't, like, I'm trying to just give you guys a little bit of a smorgasbord of everything right here. It looks like Tesla would have been a good winner. That's up $4 right now on that move as well. Remember, the Nasdaq's now green, was red for the majority of the day, stayed underneath VWAP here all morning, poked its head into green, came back. We were red heading into this, so there it goes, nice upside move. So,
you know what's still weak? Oracle's still weak going into their earnings tonight. And think about it, like they want more rate cuts. I mean, what are they tapping? They're tapping the debt markets. Oracle is tapping the debt markets to fund a lot of stuff. So, you know, they're going to care. They're not a small cap, but they're going to care for sure. But it is trying to bounce as it goes. And the market's higher. The market's trying to break out. Let's go over and just quickly show the cues here. Like, obviously, Oracle's relatively weak if it's underneath the volume-weighted average price, but we're repressing the highs as we speak on the Nasdaq, trying to push through. We got about 15 minutes until Powell takes the podium, but right now we're pumping to the upside. I just reloaded on open. I mean, it got from 50 down to the prior high, but not to VWAP. So reloaded, and we'll go scalping again. As, oh no, Roadrunner said Netflix is diving. You don't want that. Netflix going down when the market is, I mean, blasting's not the right word.
Yeah, I mean,
if the market is like slightly rising higher and at the high of the day, Netflix still at those lows. They just got to say no.
$3.
Because you know what's happening specifically here? Like WBD is trading at that higher bid now. It's trading all the way up at that $30 level as if that's going to win. So people must really be thinking Netflix is going to raise their bid. Because if people thought the Skydance bid was going to win, Netflix should be bouncing on that news. That's just what I think. I want to pull the trigger to buy the dip on it, but I want them to respond. I feel like just tell them you're not raising your bid, and the stock's going to go up.
Yeah, no, I'm already into Netflix yesterday at 96. I'm completely fine with that. I don't need to be buying more. We should have averaged in. Well, we tried to average in at 90. Literally came up to us. I was a little higher than that, and then once I realized that was the top, I tried to punch through and get some more 90s short. But we'll take it. Just get filled there. Oh. All right, well, we got some 65s there on the way back down. We're short at 78, so I don't necessarily want to cover this. We'll make it, if I get out now, we make this all back, but we're just waiting, see if we do get it. Okay, well, must take something out. We'll get some 59s here. Okay, let's go. Good recovery there. And remember, the market was expecting this. So thank you, everybody, for joining us one more time. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe. We are doing this every single day. Here's a TLT down right now, the DXY as well, the dollar, trying to stabilize a little bit. I think that will help the market here. What's up, Barry Dingle? It's me, Barry Dingle. Do we know who that is? Can you check the chart for GOSGBX? Sure, it's a penny stock, but retail owns a big portion of the float.
Safe and green holdings.
Sure, Barry Dingle.
First off, I will tell you, not enough volume to be a day trade. If it's 2 o'clock on a Fed day and you've done less than $1 million and you are a $4 stock, it's not a lot of vol. The other thing I will say is I do not like reverse splits and already back down, threatening to break lower. So just be careful with these. I mean, sometimes you get a good run and you can make a bank off a bounce, which I would tend to think you probably should have been in this one. I have no idea what, like 250 when it bounces a 200 period, and then you take what you can get and you wait for it to reset. Because when you reverse split, you trend down, you try to catch hero bids if you can, but I think that's all really doing here. So again, I don't like these reverse split stocks. I find you can find small cap runners. There are small caps out there that have decent looking charts, that have a little bit more, what's the word I want to use, oomph to them, than just trying to catch like a hero bounce every now and then, like you would. The reverse splits are nasty. Go look at what happened to Lucid recently after their reverse split. Or better yet, Workhorse. Oh, that
Workhorse. Yeah, stay away. I mean, as I was saying
I just don't like those.
Because I was telling Sia she was looking for some advice or what to invest in. I'm just like, invest in what you know. Don't invest in all these garbage companies. If you're swing trading and you're in the game every day, fine. Like, take that opportunity to play the big runners. But like, if you're trying to invest in something, just try to find the best stocks that are on sale. And sometimes those do go on sale. You might be getting Netflix right now, even Google or something like that, potentially on sale. I'm bidding 55s to get out of another, there it is, getting out of another small piece right here. So we're gonna now go, obviously, green right now on IBIT. And I mean, this was a play that I had thought about 6 hours ago when we wrote our sticky note right here, and it was this was the trade for IBIT. Watching weakness in BTC proxies with IBIT, of course. Short setup into the FOMC. Let's figure it out. Let's let the Fed send us lower, and we'll see where it goes. So that's what we're doing right now. We're short. We were short too early. Adam asked me earlier about just noticing that the trade has been trading for me has been leveling up, and what's new. And it's just I made the mistake here getting in too early. So I think waiting for something to happen and giving us levels, that's what's new, and that's what's up. So it's a nice move right now on IBIT. We'll just wait for it. We're flat on the stock now, but it's position pending, so we still could obviously go red on that one. We raised some capital today by selling some Alibaba in order to buy some more Marvell. But if Marvell was at 90, I'd be buying it. But right now, it just made a nice little move higher there. Let's see. Excuse me. See who made the right decision. Selling at 160. All right, Adara.
Into exchanges stumbled across BTCC, top 30 global leaders. The wild part, BTCC has never been hacked. While major exchanges keep getting wrecked, BTCC stays untouched. Zero KYC. If you're in US, Canada, or Europe. Through Trader TV, you get 100 USDT coupons for registering, plus a 15% bonus thing that covers losses up to 15K USDT. So seriously, what am I missing here? Scan the QR code for more info. Thank you very much to BTCC, and back to Sean and Neil.
Thank you very much there. Appreciate you for sure. Just going over some other names in here, just so you can see. I mean, I look up, here's what the visualizer says. Thank you for putting in actual symbols, everybody. Netflix in here. Tesla is going to be number 3. iRobot. That's still making power moves, but Tesla can't seem to crack 450. 449.90 is the actual high in here, believe it or not, like right up to that top, and can't seem to crack it as it continues to show a little bit of strength along with the market. And iRobot, maybe this one will do its own thing. Oh, I thought this was stronger. You know what? For some reason I thought iRobot was breaking out the top. Still very good at 40% today for iRobot. And the best thing about this for iRobot, it's doing it on its own. Serve down 5%. Rich Tech. Oh, wow. Rich Tech's up 2%, so it's actually up on the day, but it ain't up 40%. iRobot's doing its own thing and showing a lot of strength relative to its brethren, cohort, peers. But no, not really pressing that high. I thought it was doing a little bit better when people were getting excited. Maybe this one could break out where other things aren't taken out the top.
All right, 6 more 64s here. Yeah, so what I was saying before I almost died was that I got out. So I recently bought some BABA. I got out of what I put in, but I got out of a quarter of my total holdings of Alibaba. I wanted to make sure that that was clear. I still have Alibaba, but up 2% today as they talked about Meta getting involved with Quen. So, you know, that's should have helped Meta, but not. Meta downside right there. So we did cover some more IBIT as we go. And yeah, Netflix, man, I mean, this is not moving on any rate decisions or anything like that. I mean, at 2 o'clock, this is what it did. It actually just went up, down, back up, now back down again. So Netflix getting hit pretty good here right now, almost into that 92, 93 area. Well, it is at 93 now. It's basically here right now. And if you look at a daily chart, I'm still glad that I'm in that ARKQ that I bought live with you guys, man. We bought that at 109, that ETF, ARKQ. That is the Cathie Wood Robotics name that I've been in for a while. And the minute we got that robotics bump last Monday, I just went live on the show and bought that off open. Yeah, so this is, sorry, it's not, it's 88 is where we want to get into here. Somewhere around there, 90, 80, basically 92 to 88. Could find some bids coming through for Netflix. But remember, it has to clear through all this talk right now as far as Warner Brothers, Paramount, Sky, all these different bids coming through. Oh, sorry, not IBIT. What I wanted to look at, oh, I don't even remember anymore. All right, we can, let's get off this. I don't remember what I wanted to do. I have Netflix up right now. I'm not sure what it was.
I wonder if there's a hedge going on with Netflix. Like, part of my brain is saying there's probably people that are shorting Netflix and going along WBD. I think there's probably at least some of that happening. No, but the market is starting to come back in. I think, like I said, would have some trouble if NVIDIA does not want to participate in today's party, and it absolutely is not. So that's looking very heavy for sure. Innovative Entertainment, I'd be careful. That 30 level on WBD, remember, it's just an offer that the board hasn't responded to. And as of right now, like the only one that's kind of firm is, of course, Netflix. If they don't raise the bid, and if Warner Brothers board never really accepts the Skydance offer, like I've seen it before, like the stock could actually fall. There's a recent one just a couple of days ago, SAAT, I believe it was. Whatever. I'll find this one for you later, where it's a similar situation. Some company bid up like $30.75, and the stock was trading at $27. And actually went down initially because one of the major shareholders said they're going to vote against it. So it does matter whether the board likes it, whether the shareholders want it ultimately. You just got to be a bit careful with that. Just don't assume it's going to go to 30. I'm not saying it won't. Like, I thought it was a good long at 27, as I said before, but I think you want to ring some register on Warner Brothers if you can.
Yeah, I think 100% there. I mean, the deal's going to get done and your money's going to get tied up.
That's the other part.
You don't want, like, when the deal's announced at $30, it's $30. You just want to cash out because there's no point unless you do think there's a higher bid coming because your money's set up for 12 months. So with current rates, 4 or 5% on cash.
Also, the antitrust issues there, like that's a deal that could take a longer time. Like even if you, yeah, exactly. Like even if it goes through, sometimes you just want to get that money.
That's lure. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about here. It was Tesla related. It was this ARKQ. This is the Cathie Wood robotics ETF that I bought down here. It was I think it was 109 and change. Maybe today's Wednesday, so it was last week. Yeah, so right into here. It's been doing nicely. So this is an ARKQ. Their top holding is Tesla. So that's good. So hopefully that will continue to go up. I remember I was saying that I wanted to get more Tesla, and I did it via that a little bit. Gave me exposure to many robotics names, and I don't have to manage it. I'll just pay Kathy, whatever she is, to manage that for me, which is fine. I self-manage all my funds anyways. Okay, so that's IBIT. That's ARKQ. All right, here comes IBIT right now. So let's go, man. We'll see how much diamond hands we can exactly have. I have half left. So I have exactly half left, and we have just turned at this level at 50 positive on this name. So I've traded 4 names today, and all 4 are green. So if you followed me on any trade today, you'd be fine. But it's hard to do that because obviously on Palantir here, so many outs. But I mean, as long as you don't have all these outs, maybe you top ticked it, you might be up more than I am on that trade. But 190 there for Palantir, now falling back in. I'm as happy as a pig in you know what, because right now we wait. We are now 2 minutes away. We want to thank everybody. If you're watching right now, make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe. Just go over here, click on YouTube, get in here. This is what it looks like. Fed Chair Powell, not happy. 7.5 watching right now. Make sure you do hit that like. Come on, man. 400 likes, let's get that going just a little bit. And for everybody that's part of our membership right now, for $5 a month, you get, it's nothing, it just helps support the show. You get all these cool little emojis there, so that's nothing, but you also get our members only morning research note, which has tons, let's go IBIT. There's tons of futures trades on there as well. But let me guess, did you just get a fill?
No.
No, okay, because our thing went off again, so that's why I was.
3 minutes ago.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I got to fill an open door like 2.5, 3 minutes.
So maybe that's what it was. I'm going to get filled right here at 40s. There it goes. It goes right back on again. So yeah, I think there's something going on with every time you get a fill over there.
And you guys let us know if the position board goes out. Oh, with only 1 minute to go, I know I meant to do this. People have been asking about that BBGI.
Oh yeah.
And we talked. Okay, so look, we don't mind updating here, but I don't think anyone really is trading this stock. No one at real trading would trade this thing. I think not many people anyways. But the tap on the current halt is 22. This stock just goes from halt to halt, probably a couple dozen today. Like if I pull up I wouldn't even bother to count. This and OCG are just halt fest all day long. It's a complete insanity. So just be careful trading and understand the risks. Obviously 420% speaks for itself on BBGI, and OCG is also a similar type name. I think it's a little bit more expensive. I think that one's, again, trading a little bit higher, but it's going to go from halt to halt. We don't mind. I have my locator up at all times to be able to tell you what the tap is. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on them, but I don't think anyone's going to trade it. So I'm going to reload back up at like 49.50. You keep getting down, but not to VWAP here on Open Door. And I'm watching NVIDIA start to creep back up. Ooh. I feel like if NVIDIA breaks out, that's going to be the sign to go. Like if Powell should be hitting the podium any second now, as you can see, it's 2:30 and he's not there. So obviously.
What?
Oh, I mean.
Oh.
Yeah, he's running a little bit late.
I didn't even realize the time. When you said it was 2:30, I was like, oh, for sure he's there.
He's not there yet.
I like that little podium.
I think he's usually on.
Flags in the background looks pretty nice. All right.
It's his last time, so I shouldn't. It's the last.
Just before he goes, I took out some more right here at 50 again. So we got a great fill down there at 40s. That's the VWAP trade. We're back to the high spot for us, or for myself right now today. I do have a bid at 49 there as well, in case that does come back in to get another little bit of a fill right here. So I think we're going to go to Powell right now. So see you, everybody.
Remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Although important federal government data for the past couple of months have yet to be released, available public and private sector data suggests that the outlook for employment and inflation has not changed as much since our meeting in October. Conditions in the labor market appear to be gradually cooling, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, in light of the balance of risks to employment and inflation, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. As a separate matter, we also decided to initiate purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities solely for the purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time, thus supporting effective control of our policy rate. I will have more to say about monetary policy and its implementation after briefly reviewing economic developments. Although some key government data have yet to be released, available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. Consumer spending appears to have remained solid, and business fixed investment has continued to expand. In contrast, activity in the housing sector remains weak. The temporary shutdown of the federal government has likely weighed on economic activity in the current quarter, but these effects should be mostly offset by higher growth next quarter, reflecting the reopening. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects that real GDP will rise 1.7% this year and 2.3% next year, somewhat stronger than projected in September. In the labor market, although official employment data for October and November are delayed, available evidence suggests that both layoffs and hiring remain low, and that both households' perceptions of job availability and firms' perceptions of hiring difficulty continue to decline. The official report on the labor market for September, the most recent release, showed that the unemployment rate continued to edge up, reaching 4.4%, and that job gains had slowed significantly since earlier in the year. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen in recent months. In our SEP, the median projection of the unemployment rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down thereafter. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Very little data on inflation have been released since our meeting in October. Total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in September, and excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices also rose 2.8%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up, reflecting the effects of tariffs. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have declined from their peaks earlier in the year, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 2.9% this year and 2.4% next year, a bit lower than the median projection in September. Thereafter, the median falls to 2%. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 3.5 to 3.75%. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. There is no risk-free path for policy as we navigate this tension between our employment and inflation goals. A reasonable base case is that the effects of tariffs on inflation will be relatively short-lived, effectively a one-time shift in the price level. Our obligation is to make sure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. But with downside risks to employment having risen in recent months, the balance of risks has shifted. Our framework calls for us to take a balanced approach in promoting both sides of our dual mandate. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to lower our policy rate by a quarter percentage point. With today's decision, we have lowered our policy rate 3/4 of a percentage point over our last 3 meetings. This further normalization of our policy stance should help stabilize the labor market while allowing inflation to resume its downward trend.
This is what we're waiting for now, guys. We're waiting to talk more about the labor market right here. Let's go. We just averaged into Bitcoin. More short Bitcoin, guys. Ring in the register.
Within a range of plausible estimates of neutral and leave us well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments to our policy rate based on the data, the evolving outlook, and the balance.
All right, good trading, guys. We'll check out Open Door.
FOMC participants wrote down their
Door upside.
assessments of an appropriate path of the federal funds rate.
Bitcoin downside, we reshorted that one.
Judges to be the most
Check
likely.
out gold and silver, everybody. Gold and silver, neither one of those two broke the highs. Seems like the metals are not really participating in this move whatsoever. There's silver, there's gold heading back into the lows. I put that in the chat because I wanted to see something relatively weak. So you're seeing the metals take it a little bit on the chin. The market was at tops, and these were making lower highs. So I pivot over to that very quickly. Let's go back to Powell.
Decision. Monetary policy is not on a preset course, and we will make our decisions on a meeting-by-meeting basis. Let me turn now to issues related to the implementation of monetary policy, with the reminder that these issues are separate from and have no implications for the stance of monetary policy. In light of the continued tightening in money market interest rates relative to our administered rates and other indicators of reserve market conditions, the committee judged that reserve balances have declined to ample levels. Accordingly, at today's meeting, the committee decided to initiate purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities, mainly Treasury bills, for the sole purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time. Such increases in our securities holdings ensure that the federal funds rate remains within its target range and are necessary because the growth of the economy leads to rising demand over time for our liabilities, including currency and reserves. As detailed in a statement released today by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, reserve management purchases will amount to $40 billion in the first month and may remain elevated for a few months to alleviate expected near-term pressures in money markets. Thereafter, we expect the size of reserve management purchases to decline, though the actual pace will depend on market conditions. In our implementation framework, an ample supply of reserves means that the federal funds rate and other short-term interest rates are primarily controlled by the setting of our administered rates, rather than day-to-day discretionary interventions in money markets. In this regime, standing repurchase agreement, or repo operations, are a critical tool to ensure that the federal funds rate remains within its target range, even on days of elevated pressures in money markets. Consistent with this view, the committee eliminated the aggregate limit on standing repo operations. These operations are intended to support monetary policy implementation and smooth market functioning and should be used when economically sensible. To conclude, the Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing our inflation sustainably down to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals.
All right, looks like he's going to be over soon.
Understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country.
Watching out for the
Everything
cues.
we do
Going to battle back on the Nasdaq.
At the Fed, we will do
NVIDIA just held VWAP at least.
and price stability.
Yeah, SLV is still where you got it. Okay, so here we go. Now it's question time. So this is what we're going to wait for, guys. Let's hear what these questions are. Probably looking at the job market for me.
Just first turning to the statement, just to be clear, we're on the same page here. The insertion of the phrase, considering the extent of additional adjustments, does that indicate that the Fed is now on hold until there's some clearer signal from inflation or jobs or the evolution of the economy?
Short IBIT again, of course.
So, yes, the adjustments since September bring our policy within a broad range of estimates of neutral. And as we noted in our statement today, we are well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. That new language points out that we'll carefully evaluate that incoming data. And also, I would note that having reduced our
getting out on the way down, guys.
75 basis points.
Getting 54s. See if we can get a little bit lower.
Here comes LOD.
Last September.
Yep. Here comes the market. Yeah, silver going down too. I keep showing it. Nielsen
Market's
silver.
at VWAP too.
Yep, the market's getting lower right now.
Bye-bye, NVIDIA.
Oh, let's go, let's go.
If I could follow up on the outlook there, it seems
All right, back into the 50-period moving average. I'll take a little bit out here at 63s. If we can get it, yes, we do.
fairly steady on
All right, the market's just kind of going up and down right here. We'll keep on listening to these, this talk here, but you know, I think it's about this. Here we go. He's talking about
improving productivity out there.
I heard the word AI.
So a number of things are driving.
Right, give me those 54s. I'm bidding 54s.
If you look broadly
on IBIT
forecasts, you do see a pickup in growth in many of those now too. So it is. It's partly that consumer spending has held up. It's been resilient, and it to another degree, it is that AI spending on data centers and related to AI has been holding up business investment. So overall. The base expectation for next year is
getting lighter and lighter positioning, guys.
I think with outside forecasters too is a pickup in growth from today's relatively level of 1.7%. I mentioned that the SEP median is 1.7 for this year growth and 2.3 for next year. You actually, some of that is due to the
bringing in some cash here, guys.
Out of 2026 and put it in
IBIT
2025, so it would really be 1.9 and 2.1.
Silver probably going, Nasdaq going.
VIX is climbing here, bouncing off. VIX is bouncing off of a morning support here.
This is exactly what we wanted to see. This is we talked about going short on Bitcoin. We nailed Bitcoin short, man. Big trade. Let's go. Let's see if we get some 48s right here if we're lucky enough to get that. And again, just basically saying that they're looking for one rate cut next year.
Which you think is bearish?
Talked about getting, I think it was inflation down to 2.4%.
On what Howard was asking.
Good fill there, 50s.
That target rate is nowhere to be seen.
No, I don't know what their target rate is. At 2.4, right? Is that what he said?
That's a moving target rate, it seems like. But we can go back and listen to Powell.
Yeah.
But nothing.
The Nasdaq's not doing anything, guys.
Out of pocket, and we haven't moved outside of our range, everybody.
So we're
Look here, this is, if you come over here just quickly, so the Nasdaq, I'm just going to talk over them just quickly. You know, this was 230, sorry. Huge move to the upside. Now it's come right back in. This is 2 o'clock. So we're basically right where we were, just slightly higher. Great for the long-term account, but, you know, with one rate cut, I don't really like it. Let's see. Let's listen.
Inflation was high, very high, and unemployment and the labor market was really solid at that point. So what happened?
Here we go, labor market.
Last summer of 24, inflation came down, and the labor market began to show real signs of weakness. And so we decided, as our framework tells us to do, that when the risks to the two goals become more equal, you should move from a stance that favors really dealing with one of them, in that case inflation, to a more balanced, more neutral setting. And so we did that. We did some cutting, and then we paused for a while to work our way through what was happening in the middle of the year. And then we resumed cuts in September, and we've cut now 3. We've now cut a total of 175 basis points. And as I mentioned, you know, we feel like where we're positioned now we're well positioned to wait and see how the economy evolves from here.
If I could just follow up on the SEP, you have a whole lot of big increase in the growth numbers, but not a big decline in the unemployment numbers. And is that an AI factor in there? What is going on?
AI?
With the dynamic of you get more growth.
Maybe it's C3 AI is doing something.
Unemployment. Thank you, sir.
LOL.
So it is. The implication is obviously
NVDA not doing anything.
And some of that may be AI. It just also, I think, productivity has just been almost structurally higher for several years.
Tesla all the way back
So
in
if you start
$4.
thinking of it as 2% per year, you can sustain
Check out
higher
Rivian for
growth
Randy.
without more job creation.
Check the U.S. dollar.
Of course, higher productivity is also what enables incomes to rise.
Yeah, nice move in the Dixie here. Nice move in the U.S. dollar.
That may be. That's certainly the implication.
PLT probably heading higher too. Let's check the 20-year Treasury. Small bounce. Lower on the Treasury.
New York Times. Today's decision was clearly very divided. It wasn't just the 2 official dissents against a cut, but there were also soft dissents from 4 others. And I'm just wondering if this reluctance from several people to support recent reductions suggests that there is a much higher bar for cuts in the near term. And what exactly does the committee need to see if things are well positioned right now to support a January reduction?
Sure. So let me just say, as I mentioned, and as I've mentioned here before, the situation is that our 2 goals are a bit in tension, right? So interestingly, everyone around the table at the FOMC agrees that inflation is too high and that we want it to come down, and agrees that the labor market has softened and that there's further risk. Everyone agrees on that. Where the difference is how do you weight those risks, and what does your forecast look like, and where do you, ultimately where do you think the bigger risk is, and it's very unusual to have persistent tension between the two parts of the mandate. And when you do, this is what you see. And I think it's actually what you would expect to see, and we do see it. Meanwhile, the discussions we have are as good as any we've had in my 14 years at the Fed. They're very thoughtful, respectful, and you just have people who have strong views. And we come together and we reach a place where we can make a decision. We made a decision today. We had 9 out of 12 supported it, so fairly broad support. But it's not like the normal situation where everyone agrees on the direction and what to do. It's more spread out, and I think that's only inherent in the situation. In terms of what it would take, we all have an outlook in terms of what's going to come, but I think ultimately having cut 75 and the effects of the 75 basis points will only begin to be coming in. As I've said before a couple times, we're well positioned to wait to see how the economy evolves. We'll just have to see. And we will get, as you know, quite a bit of data. I should mention on the data, as long as I'm talking about it, that we're going to need to be careful in assessing, particularly the household survey data. There are very technical reasons about the way data are collected in some of these measures, both in inflation and in labor, in the labor market, so that the data may be distorted and not just sort of more volatile, but distorted, and that's really because data was not collected in October and half of November. So we're going to get data, but we're going to have to look at it carefully and with a somewhat skeptical eye by the time of the January meeting. Notwithstanding that, we will have a lot of the December data by the time of the January meeting. So we expect to see a lot more, but I'm just saying that what we get for example, CPI or for the household survey, we're going to look at that really carefully and understand that it may be distorted by very technical factors.
And just one more question on dissents. I mean, you talk about it in a very positive way, just given the complicated nature of the situation we're in economically. But is there any point in which those dissents become counterproductive, either to the Fed's communication and the messaging around the policy path forward?
I don't feel that we're at that point at all. I don't. I would say, again, these are good, thoughtful, respectful discussions, and you hear people say, and you hear many outside analysts say the same thing. I could make a case for either side. I mean, I could make that case. It's a close call. We have to make decisions. And we always hope that the data will give us a clear read, but in this situation, you have competing. If you look through the SEP, you'll see that a very large number of participants agree that risks are to the upside for unemployment and to the upside for inflation. So what do? You've got one tool. You can't do two things at once. So at what pace do you move? What size moves do you make, and that kind of thing? And what's the timing of them? It's a very challenging situation. I think we're in a good place to, as I mentioned, to wait and see how the economy evolves.
Nick.
Nick Timmerosa, The Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, there's been some discussion recently of the 1990s. In the 1990s, the committee did 2 discrete sequences of 3 quarter-point cuts, one in 1995-96 and one in 1998.
Hitting 54s.
And after both of those, the next move in rates was up, not down. With policy now closer to neutral, is it a foregone conclusion that the next move in rates is down?
Here we go. What's the next move?
Policy risks as genuinely two-sided from here.
So I don't think that a rate hike is anybody's base case at this point, and I'm not hearing that.
This might be positive.
What you see is
no rate hikes.
Feel we should stop here and that we're at the right place and just wait. Some people feel like we should cut once or more
another bid
this year and next year. But
here we go.
When people are writing down their estimates of policy of where it should go, it is either holding here or cutting a little or cutting more than a little. So I don't see the base case as involving that. So of course, a data set of 2, now 3, is not a big data set. But you are right about those 2 3-cut times in the 90s.
If I could follow up, the unemployment rate has been rising very gradually for the better better part of 2 years, and indeed the statement today no longer describes the unemployment rate as remaining low. What gives you confidence it won't continue rising in 2026, especially when housing and other rate-sensitive sectors still appear to be feeling restrictive policy from the, notwithstanding the 150 basis points in cuts prior to today?
So I think the idea is that with now having cut 75 basis points more now, and having policy, I'd call it in a broad range of plausible estimates of neutral, that will be a place which will enable the labor market to stabilize or to only tick up 1 or 2 more tenths, but we won't see, any kind of a sharper downturn, which we haven't seen any evidence of at all. At the same time, policy is still in a place where it's not accommodative, and we feel like.
When's that Trump tweet coming out? I agree with you guys. When's that Trump tweet coming out?
Related inflation. And as
Mr. One Cut,
as they flow through,
go to Amazon.
That'll show through next year. But as I said, we're well placed to wait and see how that turns out. That is our expectation. But we're going to start to see the data.
Dollar rate where we started,
right or not.
Financials breaking out.
Yeah, financials going.
Financial Times. A lot of people interpreted your comments at the October meeting that, when there's a foggy situation, we slow down, to mean that, there wouldn't be a cut now, there'd be a cut in January instead. So it'd be good to get a sense of why did the committee decide to move today rather than to move in January instead? Thank you.
Right. So in October, I said that there was no certainty of moving, and that was indeed correct. I said it's possible you could think about it that way, but I was careful to say other people could look at it differently. So why did we move today? I would say point to a couple things. First of all, gradual cooling in the labor market has continued. Unemployment is now up 0.3 from June through September. Payroll jobs averaging 40,000 per month since April. We think there's an overstatement in these numbers by about 60,000, so that would be negative 20,000 per month. And also, just to point out one other thing, surveys of households and businesses both show declining supply and demand for workers. So I think you can say that the labor market has continued to cool gradually, maybe just a touch more gradually than we thought. In terms of inflation, it's come in a touch lower, and I think the evidence is kind of growing that what's happening here is services inflation coming down, and that's offset by increases in goods, and that goods inflation is entirely in sectors where there are tariffs. So that does build on the story, and so far it's only a story, that that the goods inflation, which is really the source of the excess at this point, almost more than half the source of the excess inflation is goods, is tariffs. And you've got to say then, so what do we expect from tariffs? And I would say that is to some extent down to looking for broader economic heat. Do we see a hot economy? Do we see constraints? Do we see what's going on with wages? You saw the ECI report today. It doesn't feel like a hot economy that wants to generate, Phillips curve kind of inflation. So we look at all those things, and we say that this was a decision to make. It obviously wasn't unanimous, but overall that was the judgment that we made, and that's the action we took.
And just on the ample reserves point, how concerned were people around the table about some of the tensions we've seen in money markets? Thank you.
I wouldn't say concerned. So what really happened is this. Balance sheet shrinkage, sometimes called QT, went on. We had a framework in place for monitoring it, and nothing happened. The overnight reverse repo facility went down pretty much close to zero. And then beginning in September, the federal funds rate started to tick up within the range, right? And it ticked up almost all the way to interest-on reserve balances. There's nothing wrong with that. What that's telling you is that we're actually in an ample reserves regime. So, we knew this was going to come. When it finally did come, it came a little quicker than expected, but we were absolutely there to take the actions that we said we would take. So, and those actions are today. So, you know, we announced that we're resuming reserve management purchases. That is completely separate from monetary policy. It's just we need to keep an ample supply of reserves out there. Why so big? The answer to that is, you know, if you look ahead, you will see that April 15th is coming up, and our framework is such that we want to have ample reserves even at times when reserves are at a low level temporarily. So that's what happens on tax day. People pay a lot of money to the government, reserves drop sharply and temporarily. So this seasonal buildup that we'll see in the next few months was going to happen anyway. It was going to happen because April 15th is it.
Yes, I'm just going to interrupt Powell here quickly to talk about INTC, which is doing well. As Sean mentioned, Intel having some kind of event right now. Apparently an executive from the company saying that they're hoping to finalize their NVIDIA investment late this year or early next year. So again, INTC exec apparently commenting on their NVIDIA investment. Back to you.
What's going on? It's also happening in the context of a temporary few-month front loading to get reserves high enough to get through the tax period in mid-April. So that's what's happening there.
Andrew.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. This is the last post-FOMC press conference before an important Supreme Court hearing next month. Can you talk about how you're hoping the Supreme Court will rule? And I'm just curious why the Fed's been so reticent on such a pivotal matter.
It's not something I want to address here, Andrew. You know, we're not legal commentators. It's before the courts, and we think we don't think that we help matters by trying to engage as a public discussant of that. I'll give you a mulligan, though.
No, thanks. I don't know if that means I get 3 questions, but
no, just one more.
I guess I wanted to come back to the 1990s question, and like, do you see that as a useful model for thinking about what is happening in the economy right now?
I don't think it rises to that level. So I did think that in 2019, where we cut 3 times, but you know, this is such a unique situation. It's not the 1970s, let's put it that way, but we do have tension between our 2 goals. And so that's just unique in my time at the Fed, and I think going back a long ways, we haven't had that. In our framework, as you know, says that when that's the case, then we try to, you know, take a balanced approach to the 2 things, and we look at how far they are and how long it would take to get them back to each of them back to the goal. And that's a very subjective analysis, really, but it just tells you you've got to. And I think ultimately what it says is when they're broadly equally threatened or equally at risk, you should be kind of neutral, because if you're either accommodative or tight, you're favoring one or the other goal. And so we've been sort of moving in the direction of neutral. Now we're in the range of neutral. We're in the high end of the range of neutral, I would say, and that's what we're doing now. It so happened that we've cut 3 times. That, you know, we haven't made any decision about January, but as I've said, we think we're well positioned to wait and see how the economy performs.
Edward.
Power Hour. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence with Fox Business. I wanted to ask you, the inflation expectations has come down in your SEP report. Do you see the tariff price increases as passing through in the next 3 months? Is it a 6-month process that we're looking for that to end? And then because of that, is jobs the threat to the economy?
So with tariff inflation, you know, there's the announcement of a tariff, and then they start to take effect, and then it takes some months. Goods may have to be shipped from other parts of the, you know, it may take, you know, quite a while for an individual tariff to take its full effect. But once it's had that effect, then the question is, isn't that just a one-time price increase? So we actually look at it, all of the announcements and what you get from all that. You see sort of for each one of them, there's a time period, and then it's fully in. So If there are no new tariff announcements, and we don't know that, but let's assume there are no major new tariff announcements, inflation from goods should peak in the first quarter or so, right, or roughly. You know, we haven't been able to predict this with any precision. No one is. But call it the first quarter or so of next year should be the peak. And from here, it shouldn't be big. It should be a couple tenths or even less than that. We don't really have precision on this. And after that, again, if there are no new tariffs that are being announced that will take 9 months to get fully in, and 9 months is also an estimate, then you should start to see that coming down in the back half of next year.
And I want to see if I could address sort of the elephant in the room. The president's been talking openly about a new Fed chairman. Does that hinder your current job right now or change your thinking at all?
No.
Like,
Straight no.
Mulligans for it. Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. 10-year rates are 50 basis points higher than when you started cutting back in September of 2024, and the yield curve basically has been steepening. Why do you think that continuing to cut now, especially in the absence of data, is going to bring down the yield on the thing that will move the economy the most?
So we're looking at the real economy and focusing on that. And you've got when the long bonds move around, you've got to look at why they're moving around. If you look at inflation compensation, it's very that's one part of it is inflation compensation break-evens, and they're at very comfortable levels. They're at levels consistent once you get out past the very short term now. Break-evens are at at quite levels that are quite consistent with 2% inflation over time. So there's nothing happening with rates going up out there that suggests concern about inflation in the long term or anything like that. I mean, I look at these things pretty regularly. Same thing with surveys. Surveys are all saying that the public understands our commitment to 2% and expects us to get back there. So why are rates going up? It has to be something else. It must be, an expectation of higher growth or something like that. And that's a lot of what's been going on. I mean, you saw a big move, toward the end of last year, which was not to do with us. It was to do with other developments.
Well, you just mentioned that the public is expecting you to get back to 2%, and Americans overwhelmingly are citing high prices, inflation, as their number one concern. Can you explain to them why you're prioritizing the labor market, which seems relatively stable to most people, instead of their number one concern, inflation?
So we, as you know, we have a network of contacts in the U.S. economy, which is really unmatched if you go through the 12 reserve banks. So we hear loud and clear how people are experiencing really costs. It's really high costs. And a lot of that is not the current rate of inflation. A lot of that is just embedded higher cost due to higher inflation in 2022 and 23. So that's what's going on. And so the best thing we can do is restore inflation to its 2% goal, and our policy is intended to do that, but also have a strong economy where real wages are going up.
Keep an eye here on Microsoft or any of these AI or cybersecurity names. Axios reporting that apparently OpenAI has said that their new models are likely posing a high cybersecurity risk. So again, OpenAI reportedly saying that their own models likely pose a high cybersecurity risk. If there's any more context on this, I'll let you know. But yeah, that's MSTR. Let's pull up MSFT. See how that one's doing. Either way, keep an eye on MSFT, not reacting too much to this. But again, OpenAI reportedly warning of cybersecurity risks with its own models.
Victoria.
Not great.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. Just to follow up on that, I mean, this is now the third time that you've cut this year and inflation is around 3%. So is the message that you're sort of trying to send with that you're okay with where inflation is for now, as long as people understand that at some point you still want to get back to 2% because inflation is relatively stable where it is?
everyone should understand, and the surveys show that they do, that we're committed to 2% inflation, and we will deliver 2% inflation. But it's a complicated, unusual, difficult situation where the labor market is also under pressure, where job creation may actually be negative. Now, supply of workers has also gone way down, so the unemployment rate hasn't moved that much. But, you know, it's a labor market that seems to have significant downside risks. People care a lot about that. That's their jobs. That's their ability, if they get laid off or if they're entering the labor force, to find work. So that's really important to people. The story with inflation, and you know, we're well aware that this is a story at this point, is that if you get away from tariffs, inflation is in the low 2s, right? So it's really tariffs that's causing most of the inflation overshoot. And we do think of those as likely to, in the current situation, as likely to be a one-time price increase. Our job is to make sure that it is, and we will do that job. But right now, you've got this difficult balance, and there are risks to both sides. There's no risk-free path. If it was just inflation and the labor market was just really strong, and then rates would be higher, as they were for more than a year. You know, we didn't have to worry about inflation. Sorry, about the labor market, because the labor market unemployment was very low. If you remember, when inflation was very high, there was a labor shortage, so we could focus entirely on inflation.
We're going to take the future short here.
It's different. We actually have risks to both, and I think we're doing the best we can for people. They also care about their jobs. They do care about affordability, and the best thing we can do there is both to support economic activity, but also, you know, make sure that when tariff inflation goes down and disappears, inflation lands around 2%.
Elizabeth. Thanks so much, Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. Just to follow up, you keep talking about job growth being negative. Why do you think job growth is so much worse than some of the official data? Why do you think job growth is, to follow up on your comments about job growth, why is it so much worse than the official data is suggesting?
Oh, well, we know, I think I don't think this is particularly controversial. It's very difficult to estimate job growth in real time. They don't count everybody. They have a survey. And there's been something of a systematic overcount. And so we expected, and they correct it twice a year. So the last time they corrected it, we thought the correction would be 800,000 or 900,000. I won't get the numbers exactly right. And that was exactly what happened. So we think that has persisted. And so there's an overcount in the payroll job numbers, we think, continuing, and it will be corrected. I don't have the exact month in my head right now, and that's just, I think forecasters generally understand that. So, and we think it's about 60,000 a month, so 40,000 jobs could be negative 20.
Yeah, just be aware. Turns out U.S. President Donald Trump is also talking. I saw on his calendar he was supposed to speak. I thought it was not going to be for the press. He is talking for the press, and the reason I bring this up is because AAPL on Watch Trump saying that he heard from the CEO of Apple, of course Tim Cook, that it's hard to hire people. So again, be aware, U.S. President Donald Trump is talking. I am listening to both him and Powell. Back to you.
But I think a world where job creation is negative, I just think we need to watch that situation very carefully and be in a position where we're not, pushing down on job creation with our policy.
When we're talking about supply, we have seen major American employers like Amazon cite AI in job cuts. How much right now are you factoring in AI into the current weakness in the job market?
So it's probably part of the story. It's not a big part of the story yet. We don't know whether it will be. But, for example, if you look at, you can't miss the big announcements of layoffs and also companies saying that they're not going to hire anybody for a long time, and they cite AI. That's all clearly happening. At the same time, people are not filing for unemployment insurance, and since job creation, job finding rates are extremely low, if there were big numbers of layoffs, you'd expect the continuing claims to go up, and you expect new claims to go up. It really haven't much, so it's a little bit curious. But longer term, though, the question is, what are we going to see here? And we don't know, but it's it may be that in past technology, really significant technology innovation eras, you have seen some jobs destroyed and other jobs made. Ultimately, what's happened for a couple hundred years is when you get through all that, you have higher productivity and you have new jobs, and there are enough jobs for people. This may be different. You know, it's every time we have a wave of technology, we think, oh, this could put a lot of people out of work. What are they going to do? In the past, there's always been more work and higher productivity, and incomes have risen. What will happen here, we're going to have to see. But right now is such early days. We don't think we see much. It's certainly not showing up in layoffs yet.
Thank you, Chair. Enda Curran, Bloomberg News. Given the breadth of views on the policy committee, why is there such a division of views between
the policy what? On
the committee.
Thank you.
Why is there such a division of views between the presidents and the board members?
You know, it's not so stark as that. The views are more varied on in each group as well. There's some of that, but I would say they're also governors and they're people on both sides in both groups. I wouldn't put too much in that.
Okay, and just to follow up, please, given your growth upgrade, how would you factor in, or what would be the economic impact if the Supreme Court is to strike down the tariffs that they're currently hearing, please, in terms of growth and inflation? Thank you.
I really don't know. It would depend. It would depend on a whole bunch of things we don't know. So I can't really help you there.
Christine. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Christine Romans, NBC News. I wanted to ask you about how the higher income households are really driving spending right now. They're backed by home equity and stock market wealth, but lower income consumers are really struggling with the accumulation of 5 years now of rising prices. It's price levels, not really the inflation rate, holding some of these families back. How sustainable is this so-called K-shaped economy, and what are the Fed's thoughts on whether that's a risk going forward?
So we do, through our vast network of contacts and just through our observation of what's going on in the economy, we hear about this a lot. If you listen to the earnings reports for consumer-facing companies that tend to deal with low and moderate income people, they'll all say that we're seeing people, tightening their belts, changing products that they buy, buying less, and that sort of thing. And so it's clearly a thing. It's also clearly a thing that, asset values, housing values, and securities values are high, and they tend to be owned by people more at the higher end of the income and wealth. So as how sustainable it is, I don't know. Most of the consumption does happen by people who have more means. I think the top third accounts for way more than a third of the consumption, for example. So it's a good question how sustainable that is. The best we can do is to have a price stability and a strong labor market. And what we saw, for example, what we saw at the end of the very, very long expansion that ended with the outbreak of the pandemic, we saw that it was 10 years and 8 months or something like that, the longest one in recorded history. In the last 2 years, most of the largest part of the wage gains were going.
I can't hear anything this guy's saying. We have Powell blasting in our ear, but
he's loud in our ear.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a nice move for the market here, starting to get higher and higher and higher. So I kept on showing you guys just this level. Like, we're stopping out if it breaks here, the weekly high, and I think you can even just switch over to the long. Like, I was waiting for him to be done before we flipped over to the long, but who knows? This is 314 now. And still going on. So a little bit more than I think we thought. But congratulations, Powell. You got it done. And good question and answer period there. Interesting to see inflation, down to the 2.4, 2.7 areas, what we're looking at there. Not too much talk about the jobs market. Talked a little bit about AI. I don't think he gave us anything we didn't know already. Just talked about productivity there. And then, obviously, Adara mentioned Trump going off there, but it was nothing really to do about Powell, I don't think.
Sorry, just an update. The CEOs of Qualcomm, IBM, HPE, and Dell are all at this roundtable, so just be aware, in addition to name-dropping Tim Cook, there are a lot of CEOs on watch, guys. I'm going to keep a track of all of it for you right now. Trump's my priority.
And remember, we have 45 minutes, and we get Oracle and Adobe reporting after the bell. Oracle's relatively weak. Tesla's having no trouble with any of this.
No, I mean, Palantir, a lot of these stocks.
Oh, yeah, Tesla, Palantir, I mean, distinctly different. NVIDIA still, NVIDIA's still in the red, man. Like, yeah, we keep pressing higher. NVIDIA just doesn't seem to want to break back out. Let's go back to Adara.
Just keep an eye here at Lockheed Martin. This name is incredibly strong today. As you can see, they just announced partnership with Microsoft for next-gen counter UAS technologies. LMT, back to you.
I was just thinking LMT. Okay, yeah, that might be a good one to look at there if there's some talk. I might just, like, we're basically in this trade right here, right now. We're still up on the TQs because of this move, but if it breaks 10s, we may, I don't think we'll give it all back, but we'll basically be up nothing. So just waiting. I was going to say we could flatten this out. It's now back into the money a little bit. All right, maybe he's gone. Is that why? No. Okay, I thought maybe he'd stepped away. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, right, is for that step off, man, right there. So we'll see if it does come through. I'm bidding now low 90s, see if we can get a little bit of a fill there, just take some pressure off, because the long's been right, not the short. So we'll sit in this right now. We could, like I said, we could have just got out right there. Small risk. We've already associated this. Here it comes. I don't know what was just said there that gave the market a little bit of a shake, but
the turn in metals was distinct and absurd. Silver, you guys would have seen this like right when it broke that local high. So think about that whipsaw action that you get at 230. So at 230, there's your whipsaw action. There's the high, there's the low. Doesn't break the low. When it breaks the high, high-ho silver off to the races. Gold did pretty much the same thing. As we're flipping through, I was showing you guys the VIX or UVXY. It's going to move the same anyways. But yeah, you can see what's going on. There's gold. But have a look at the downturn. Like, volatility's only been dropping. Like, there wasn't any back and forth action. It was only heading to the downside, which is spurring this on. That's why it's a little surprising. Some of the chip names not doing as well as others. We'll see what NVIDIA can do tomorrow, but the rally is pretty much everywhere else at this moment. Like, I'm not seeing anything that's incredibly weak at this point. And as we were showing you as well, and we're trying to flip through all the names that you guys were putting in the chat or letting us know about IWM breaking out in a big way. So this should be all-time highs. It is. All-time highs here for the IWM. That Russell breakout is finally happening. Now, can the financials also break out? XLF, right back up to the top. It gets to the top, you just can't break the top.
Yeah, it's nice to see JP coming back a little bit after yesterday.
Right
Pretty
back
bad.
to where it was before.
Almost, yeah. It was down 4%.
Yeah, effectively.
Yeah, effectively. Yeah, good. We like it a lot. Right now, Oracle after hours, so we know about that one. Sia getting set up. She'll be on momentarily. Let's check out what's going on with Robinhood here as well. 136 and change. So pretty choppy, for many of these names here. Who's over there, Andre? Pretty choppy for many of these names. Robinhood. If you guys want to show the chart, oh, there we go. Trump will be talking about technology and AI today. Thank you, Sarah, for that one. Here's SoFi doing nothing again as well. All right, man. I mean, here it comes right back in again. These great futures trade that I have here, and it's just the TQs. And of course, I only use the TQs. I've already explained why. I just don't like looking at the way the futures actually look on here, and would much rather trade this as a stock than a contract. So that's what we choose. It's just like Pikachus, you can't catch them all. 93s. Oh, we just missed 93. I thought we got that. We did not. We're bidding 93. Am I not? Oh no, I'm bidding 90s. Oh, yeah, 93. Sorry. There we go. So there we go. 90s as well. So we take out a little bit more, just taking away some pressure of this trade, as it's just really rode this 21 period all the way up. So if we're gonna take a little bit off there, which we just did, just to get away from it. So we're short 95s, or 96s. We just covered there 93s and 90s and 86s. So actually we didn't even get our 86. So we'll wait to see if that comes in again. Waiting to get taken out 57.15, 57.10 top. That was just based on what we've been doing this week. So the weekly high is right there, 57 change. If it wasn't Fed right now, I mean, if it wasn't Fed right now, you might not have this kind of momentum. So I was just going to say, but like, this is the top that we've wanted, right? We wanted Palantir. Oh, sorry, we wanted the TQs at 57. It just came here right now. So still waiting for him to get out of here. But he's talking right now, I guess, talking about his legacy. I'm just hearing in my ear right now. So I think he's getting close to being done. Get down right now. I'll take another 90, 91 fill if we can get it there, and then we'll just, be off of this and wait to see if the move is down or up from now. Just trying to see.
He's talking about his legacy. That's got to be the end.
Yeah, that's what I want. Many years ahead. Don't worry. There's bigger things. I don't know. What was this guy? A psychologist or something? But we'll figure out where Powell's going right now. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be wrapping up shortly. So when he does, that'd be great. And looks like the Nasdaq will take out the top as well momentarily. So yeah, we'll get stopped out of that last little trade here, and it'd be fine if that is what happens. I'm just waiting for him to leave. I don't know if that's
what I'm looking for.
going to happen. And if it does, then I might punch short at some point. Yes.
Keep an eye on MU. Trump is talking to a lot of CEOs here. He just asked one of them who's the king of memory, and the guy said Micron. So MU did spike a little bit here. I'll keep an eye on MU. Again, I'm still keeping an eye on Powell comments, but Trump is talking to a lot of CEOs of publicly traded companies right now, trying to balance it all. Back to you.
Thanks, Darren.
Who did he ask? The Micron CEO that question? But yeah, there it is. Hey, Micron CEO, who's the king of the product that you sell? We are. But yeah, Micron.
I don't think Sanjay Malhotra is here, though. But
Okay,
I'll keep an eye on it.
Who said it then?
Yeah. I was just wondering who said it
that's
then.
not bad.
Okay, so at the end of the day, Micron right now up and taking out new all-time highs. So I was saying this, I thought this is the house of cards, and we were somewhat right when it went from 250 down to 200, but it has been on a mission right there back up to the upside, man. You can't build these data centers, you can't get them going without this memory. So there it goes, upside on Micron.
I think you're safer betting against memory in like SNDK.
Yeah,
like
well, I mean,
it's like pick on the weaker name.
Maybe right.
Sometimes it's kind of like how you'd like if you think
Adobe.
like if, well, I was gonna say Oracle.
Oh yeah. No, I was saying Adobe's reporting tonight.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just saying like if you're gonna bet against like if you think AI is the bubble, all that kind of stuff, it's like yeah, we'll go at Oracle instead of NVIDIA. That's easy. It's low hanging fruit.
And how long is this guy gonna talk for?
If he goes to the close, that's a record. I feel like usually by now he's going to be done. So I was premature to that 41. It's interesting how this morning I was saying I wanted to short 41 in Intel, and we never got there, and then now we're getting there. So it broke trend. I'm in. There's a trend break. I was in too early there. I might have had a bad trend line, whatever it is. This is the bottom after 2 o'clock. There's a clear trend line break. There's the wick high. That's the out. It's 99, so effectively the even dollar will be the out on INTC there. But as mentioned, after
the event
bell,
has ended.
Oh, it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I just looked over and saw the same.
I read the same thing there.
So. Matt Carnes, I have not seen it.
We did get a 91 fill.
Oh, I was going to show you guys this, the early look on the imbalances. Just so you know, I get it. Kellanova or K is 19 million to sell, and Ares is 7 million to buy. I believe both of those are deals. Why is Ares a buy? Oh no, that's right. Ares is going into the S&P 500, 37 million expected. It's 7 million right now. Kellanova is coming out of the S&P 500, Russell 1000, FTSE, and MSCI. So it's coming out of like 4 indexes because the deal is closing. So that is why you will see K there. It's actually expected, believe it or not, to be much larger. Expected 69 million to sell. It's 19. So that could be an interesting one going into the close, which is a bit away.
I know a lot of you said that I was cooked on this TQQ trade, but we ain't cooked, man. We are cooking right now. Nah, just playing around. I have no idea where this is going to go. Right now, we're short. It's started to work. We just covered a bunch there at 80s. Like, you got 85s, you got 86s. Like, I'm just sort of putting them out right now. I thought maybe, oh, here, I'll take a 90. There it is. We'll take another 90 fill. Now we can let it go, man. I'm bidding 75. We'll see if this falls back in. The 50-period moving average is at 60. We'll see if that hits. And we'll see if we get a little bit of a downside push now. So we're in this. Powell's gone. See you later. And again, maybe if we can get a recap of it, if Adair has, there's probably some notes about this to recap what was said today. But nice move to the downside into 75 is where I'm going to wait to see if we can cover some more. We're getting out. Like, the move has been up. So if we have to scalp out this, we'll scalp that out, man, and be happy with it, and just be like, whatever, dude. Just did not make the big move that we had thought it would. We did wind up getting, IBIT came out right there, which is fine by me. We did well, and we got out of a bunch, and then eventually it broke 53, which is a good out. We got out there. I actually forgot to, I started trading the TQs and actually forgot about this, because basically, as soon as the TQs we started getting short is when it started to rip. So there it is, big candle there. Bitcoin goes up. Now Bitcoin coming back down just a little bit now. So we'll have to wait to see if there's any sort of reaction to that one. And then just quickly, man, during that break, I was showing you guys Well, we all were, just different things. Let's check out what the dollar's doing right now. It was, I was gonna say it was straight downside. We did have that one little bump there. I think that was on some job or housing talk there. That was right at 230 or 240 or so. Nice move up, and since then straight down there for the US dollar. And then we like to look at, well, we can look at TLT on our own accounts as well, but that had a nice move. Basically right back to 2 o'clock. This is 2 o'clock. So you're right to where we were there. And then the VIX just going lower. I don't even need to look at this. I mean, there's the VIX at lows right now. I mean, I can just, if my Q's position is going to be flat, then I don't think anything's happening with the VIX right now. We need the VIX to go up in order for the futures to go down, and that's right now not happening. A lot of certainty in the market, actually, and it's just certain that it wants to go higher. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Broadcom goes tomorrow.
So we're certain we will get Broadcom earnings tomorrow. That's for sure. Wow, that's thank you for the super chat. That is a heck of a name there. So I'm not even going to bother trying. Usually I would, but you can give that one a go if you want. All-time high.
I don't even know where to start. Like Eder. Oh, it's Portuguese. Okay, then. Gabriel Alves. Gabriel Alves.
Thank you.
Yes, Portuguese.
Thank you, Andre.
Sorry about the fate of the Portuguese this World Cup.
Ouch.
I have no idea.
Ouch.
Portugal and Italy are like.
Oh, they're obviously.
Yeah.
Well, Portugal and England are rivals as well. So I'm an England fan, and they're also rivals.
Yeah.
But then Broadcom's at fresh highs. I always feel like going into this particular earnings cycle, if you're breaking
Powell's
out
done.
all-time highs going into it, I'd be a little bit cautious.
Powell's done. Trump's still talking.
I never feel that good about the stocks that are right on the top. I feel like profit taking usually.
Powell gone. Yeah, we saw that event ended there, Adara. We saw that little stream there. But Powell's gone. But more importantly, if Donald is speaking, then we'll look to see. Adara mentioned that some positive words there, possibly for Micron in that little meeting. They're going higher. We do know, is Jensen there at least? Who do we know that's there, Adara? Do we know who is in this roundtable?
Antonio Neri of HPE. I know the CEO of IBM is there. I know that the CEO of HPQ, I believe, is also there. Cristiano Iman of Qualcomm. It's like a very big group. And Michael Dell is kind of the star of the show.
Yeah, I guess so. He is. Michael Dell. Yeah, shout out to that man. Doing the best, man. Michael Dell with donations.
Yeah, that was so.
$7 billion to start those kids accounts, basically. What a great contribution there to the world. And yeah, just hopefully, again, just American, but it was to start investment accounts for every newborn or something like that, wasn't it?
Well, for those that, I think it was at certain income levels for the families that wouldn't be able to, which I think is incredibly valuable.
Exactly. So
literally having a conversation about investment accounts with a friend, and he was like, "Oh, how do I?" He wanted to teach them about managing money.
Yeah, of course.
He said, "You know what? You have that investment account. Literally make them write reports and do research, and then get control of 1% of their college account. Like just not enough to do anything bad or anything, but they'll have some skin in the game there." And I think it's a cool thing. And ultimately, you want to learn about the market. You want to learn about compounding. You want to learn about interest rates. And
only Texas children. Is that what this is? No,
it was only in Texas?
I don't know. Maybe we should find out more before we comment on it, because that would be disappointing.
No, I thought okay.
It's not only in Texas. Dell initially only wanted it to be in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. Because I always defer to Adara. I was pretty sure I read that it was.
I just saw someone in the chat there, but
yeah, when Adara, if Adara says it,
we will confirm.
Then we believe it. Why am I looking at IBM?
Well, because we had the IBM, and we had Dell going there, we had IBM, we had HPQ, just talking about some of the CEOs that were at the round table there. And again, it looks like a server-side roundtable. Maybe SMCI is there as well. We'll have to see what's going on with SMCI. $34 now, looking to go lower. Looking to go higher, sorry, SMCI. Ooh, this could be a decent short. Look, we might have just got taken out. We didn't get taken out. I thought we got taken out of this. We did not. Put another bid here. I thought we got taken out of this. We did not. It didn't even, what am I talking about? Oh, it did. It went to 09. It basically went to our price. So yeah, we're taking some more out here on these futures as they continue to climb higher right now. But yeah, that was, wow. Okay, man, lucky right there that didn't come out So we're gonna appreciate that luck and just get another piece out right there at 91. I just punched those 91s out right there. It's only a 10-cent win, but if it falls down, fine. We still have not a lot of skin in the game. We have about 40% left. So I'm going to put another bid right there at 80 for 5%, and then put another 10% bid at 74s and see if that comes through here for the down sloping futures we're hoping for. But right now, man, it's looking like a nice little run here in the TQs. And will we end the day where we are? And there, again, the reason why I'm short, I don't think Powell said anything that would change my mind. We were expecting a rate cut. We got the rate cut. This is what it looks like now. Remember, I haven't refreshed this, so we're gonna have a quick look. So it looked like a nice little, kind of like a little mountainscape there. Well, we refresh it right now. We're gonna find out now what they think for January. What we were looking for was January of 27, well, maybe December. So it's still kind of the same thing. So not much has actually changed, unless this isn't updated. This must not be updated. All right, the next rate cut. We're going to go to Adair in 1 second. The next rate cut right now, they're saying in January, it's 75% chance no cut. So right now, 75 no cut, obviously a quarter, yay. So what's up, Adair?
Trump is talking about Powell. He called him the deadhead Fed, and then he also said that he's a stiff. And he also says that he doesn't know why we can't have 20 to 25% GDP growth. So Trump is very much talking about the market right now, guys. Like, in addition to having CEOs of public companies with him, his comments are very much about the market and about the economy. So be careful, be aware. Again, 20 to 25% GDP growth from U.S. President Donald Trump. Back to you.
So Kalshi has it at 82, but it's not a distinction without a difference. There's been about 5 to 10% difference between the Fed funds rate tool and the Kalshi. So Fed decision in January, 82% here. Hey, there's a small, I guess, bet on a cut of greater than a quarter point. At least a little bit interesting. I don't think we had any odds on that the time before. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. As you said, the VIX, I mean, it's slowing down, decelerating, I guess would be the best way to think about it on the 15 here. The VIX has hit a bottom, and it's not going to go at all. I didn't get any fruit salad.
My coffee hit the fruit salad button, so I immediately had to
pull
up the money sign.
I don't remember why. It was the first time I didn't get the fruit salad this morning for some reason. It was like I know what it was.
Late. That's why. I know the weather.
It's because Randy was kind enough to bring me a plate of breakfast, and I usually grab the breakfast and get my.
And when you're there, you visualize the.
You break your routine, and that's an easy way to miss something. Especially, they say that's one of the big things, like when someone forgets a kid in the back seat when you're driving. It's because like something in your morning, you just did something different, broke the routine, and you were on autopilot, and then forgot something big. So, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get any crazy price action. I waited all day for a chance at 41, and Intel strong going into that top. If it breaks, then I'm gonna jump out. Oh yeah, that's just Trump saying that it could have been more. And then we're gonna probably hear about when if the odds stay this way, for them sticking put in January, you're going to hear a heck of a lot more from the president about that, I would suspect.
Yeah, I think, I mean, shares of retail companies trade higher here, obviously, as the Fed winds up cutting. We're just trying to find out why Warby Parker upgraded today to outperform. This is just, I'm trying to go through the notes and not really seeing too much here. Partners with Google AI on Monday, Warby Parker. So that's this move there. And again, it's that whole like, are we doing glasses or are we not right now? Like, oh, wow, what a move up here for WRBY today. 25% going right back to all-time highs, a relatively new IPO, I believe. This name just got that Google bump and continued today, maybe upgrades, but yeah, Warby Parker, thanks for pointing that one out there in the chat. This one just continues to go, go, go. Rate cut was small. That number could have been more, always could have been. Could have been less, could have been more, could have been neutral. But right there, $30 now for Warby Parker. I mean, I don't know. Again, the AI glasses race continues, man. And we saw Meta team up with Oakley and Ray-Ban and things like that. But it looks like right now, Warby Parker getting a lot of love there back in. All right. Relatively slow right now.
There's a that BBGI.
Oh yeah, BBGI. What price is that?
Again, $22.
Yowzers.
BBGI is halted. I'm not kidding you. It's at least 25 times today. Complete insanity. I don't know, I'm actually missing some of the pre-market in there. Trust me, it was even crazier. But the current tap, it's no longer even giving you a crazy tap. It's effectively just telling you the last few times it's going to open where it is. So 440% for this name. Obviously having a pretty good go of it. We have still 15 minutes till the imbalances outside of the two index actions, which we told you about. Aries going into the S&P 500. Coming out of that and a bunch of other ones. It's coming out of basically every index. It's in like 4 different ones. You have the SOC sell as a sell of 1.8 million in there. That's about it.
Balances.
There's a few things that are large, but I say SOC sell and then the 2 index moves, and we're going back up to there.
Trump and Michael Dell and these other CEOs are still talking, but again, I do want to let you guys know that Trump has been mentioning rates. He said that the rate cut could have been a little bit more, and I have to mention as well here, Synopsys, Oracle, and Adobe reporting after the bell. Here is our fun infographic here for Synopsys. You can take a look at this on X at TTV Research. I also have specific earnings previews for ORCL and ADBE that I've posted on X at TTV Research, so definitely join us there for that content. Keep an eye here as well on ORBS. Dan Ives saying he's going to be going to tomorrow's WorldCoin event with Sam Altman. So ORBS on watch, all these earnings on watch, and like and subscribe. And back to Sean and Neil.
And of course, he has to mention he's going to these conferences and he has to drop all these names because that's the only reason why any of these would move in your favor. Nothing happening with WorldCoin, as far as I know, or any of the coins. So we had Kevin O'Leary on. You can go find his little talk there. And if you guys do your own research, like, you know, Solana was supposed to be it, right? And then all of a sudden, we could have them on. Oops, Solana.
Solana we should have.
Even if we just go to the ETF anyways, for right now. But, you know, this name has really fallen. You know, this was like, oh my God, the Genius Act. You know, everyone's building these stable coins on Solana. There has to be something about this. Yeah, and the same thing there for the WorldCoin and all that. So, I mean, this is what they got to do, man. They got to put their face in front of it. They got to make ridiculous claims, and then people follow them, right? Like Ethereum to $7,000 or $10,000 and Bitcoin to 200,000. I would just say, you know, if you're interested in it, look at some of the price action. And I own Solana. I wish for the best of Solana and Bitcoin. I mean, I bought recently on the dips here, but not recently. I think my last buy was 102 or something on Bitcoin, and now it's at 93. So we'd like to see this go up, but realistically, I think still Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be the ones you're in. I mean, and I own a lot of Cardano and Solana and XRP. So I am definitely excited about those names for their potential. But honestly, like, I just think it's not greater fool theory, but you know, you got to find someone that's going to willing to pay higher than the current price, and it can't be based on earnings. It can't. It's what are they developing?
I own crypto, but to say it's not just because something is the greater fool theory doesn't mean that it doesn't work. That's a huge misconception. Every single equity that doesn't pay a dividend rests on the greater fool theory. There's the theory that there's future earnings that will make it go higher, but you still only make money if there's no dividend if somebody buys it from you at a higher price, or they eventually pay out a dividend. That's still where you get money from. So, I actually really dislike it. It's like you'll have people that talk about the stock market like on other programs, and you probably know what I'm talking about, who will talk about crypto as it's the greater fool theory. I'm like, so is more than half of the stock market too. It's just that is an easier fundamental case to make for why it's going up, but it doesn't mean you still don't get anything till you ring the register. And that's what the theory is all about. That being said, watch out for BMNR coming into some big levels. I just have something in my eye, by the way. Coming into some big levels here, because if you look at the 44 level on BMNR, like, it's been constant, like breakaway, consolidation, support, resistance, and it's the 50 period now and running. And obviously, this is going to move. This is going to move a little bit more than Bitcoin. It's going to move more than probably Ethereum. Like if I look at the ETF, it's a 24-hour market. I get it, but ETHA has moved in the same time frame 2%, and then you're getting 6 on BMNR. So as much as everyone wants to say, hey, look at BMNR fall when Ethereum goes down, at least if you catch the right bid, you get a pretty sizable and decent move out of it.
Yeah. People in the chat there are like saying, like, are we going to get any imbalances? I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think, there's index action today, right? But I don't, you know, there's a lot of size on here. I mean, so J&J with a sell, 1.8 million or 1.08 million. Wu-Tang is here, Western Union, of course. Citigroup with a buy. You know, so there is some action here for right now. Will they pair off at 350? We'll find out, and then we'll obviously get Nasdaq. Look at Citigroup. Wow, this chart is just like no to JP Morgan. It's like, dude, why are you buying JP Morgan? Buy me, buy me. Should have. Where is JPM? I saw them on here. I think they were a small little sell. Oh, I don't see. Oh, there it is. JP. Oh, 310. Okay, yeah, all the way back. Yeah. I mentioned to Neil, they weren't all the way back, but they almost are.
All the way back.
They almost are, yeah. I mean,
effectively.
Couple, yeah, less than 1%, I think. I think it was down 4 and a bit yesterday, so nice move right there, back upside for JP Morgan. Maybe people were just sort of nervous about the Fed, I don't know.
You know what they say?
For the banks, but then Netflix, yep.
Did JP come all this way not to fill the rest of the gap in? Some people say that. They're like, when this starts happening, you tend to have, you float to the next liquidity point. So like, why not? Like where's the resistance going to be? Like maybe a little bit here and maybe a little bit at 315. But if JP gets back, then I think we finally get this breakout on XLF. I just think there's going to be an opportunity here eventually, at some point. 54 half on the XLF. JP gets there, XLF takes it out, and then we get to go for sure. Man. Only about 8 or 9 minutes to go. So Christopher Ocean made a really good point about the imbalances. Oh, where'd K? Oh, I will scroll down. I'm like, oh, K was 19 million. It's not there anymore. A lot of times these will pair off. What's different about, my head's in the way. What's different about these, A and Aries, is if you're just tuning in now, Aries is being added to the S&P 500. K is leaving the S&P 500, Russell 1000, FTSE, and the MSCI. Oh, oddly enough, Boeing is supposed to be a 4.7 million share buy as it's being its increase on the S&P 500 for Boeing. Boeing's in New York. I guess if it was already, we'd see it if it was there. Well, there it is. It's early the wrong way. So right now, Boeing is in the wrong direction. We're expecting a buy on Boeing. An increase in the S&P 500. I like that.
All right, here we go. We just got another 91 there on the TQs. Like, honestly, you know, I thought like once Powell left, you know, maybe something would happen. But all it looks like is you scan this, you get to find out who the next, it takes you right to the website, it tells you who the next Fed chair is. But 25, I don't know, 900, like, I mean, it's a nice, bless you, nice level there on the NASDAQ right now. And I mean, just looking at the overall market, you're gonna look at the SPY. We saw brand new all-time highs in the IWM today. Like, talk about the easiest trade on the board. Like, if you think there's gonna be a rate cut, that's happened now multiple times. You can go back to September to see that move as well when we had a rate cut then. But there's the SPY right at the highs. Great daily chart for the S&P 500. Like, really, man, 690 again. Like, what a move higher for the S&P 500. It was just 650, and everyone was like, hide your kids, hide your wife. And since that spot, you've just got like the NASDAQ, like, should the S&P 500 really have like 8 or 9 straight up days? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not an up day. That's green anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 minus color problems. But yeah, still straight upside.
I know why that happens. It's
over the weekend, maybe?
In our system, because, so real trading is a day trading firm. So the way it works is from the open, on those and the dailies, it's like from the open to the close instead of from the prior, to give you a notion that, well, if you day trade, if you're looking at it from a day trading perspective, on that day it moved up.
We should probably fix that.
And again, like I should put another ticket. I put a ticket in for it before, but it's
okay.
It's like, well,
ignored.
Well, it was more along the lines of, well, you can look at any other source that'll tell you that. This at least gives you a unique way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Because anybody can pull up a daily chart in every other source and look at it the other way. Whereas here, sometimes it is important to say, well, what is the stock from the open? It's not a terrible thing to look at. I mean, I tend to disagree. But I also put in a feature for that imbalance locator and the Halts, which I think will be interesting. That BBIO, we have 5 minutes to go.
Tesla doing anything? Oh, Tesla. Where is it? Tesla broke through 450 like it doesn't even matter.
And yesterday's highs.
Right there. Wow, Tesla 456.
Bye-bye.
Hey man, we called 480. We have a couple days. That might even hit. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, keep an eye here on Chubb and AIG. Here is CB Chubb. AIG is over here. So AIG was pushing higher, CB pushing lower. I don't have a lot of context on this. I couldn't find much when I looked into it, but the most recent headline is Insurance Insider saying that Chubb has denied that it submitted an offer for AIG. So again, AIG pushing higher, Chubb denying that they actually submitted an offer to acquire them. Back to you.
Okay, well, I mean, if Chubb has flat out denied the rumor, then I mean, I wouldn't be buying tops on something like that. That just seems a little crazy to me, but good luck. Whenever there's buyout rumors, like you want, like a no comment wouldn't be that bad. A whole we don't discuss, blah, blah, blah. But if you flat out deny that you're making, good luck, AIG. You know what, the thing is, it's not, sometimes it sustains a bid because it's not too out of pocket where the stock is. Like it's bouncing off support anyway, so people feel like, it's not the end of the world to bet that a deal would happen. Speaking of, we forgot to check back in on Netflix.
All right.
Well, the thing is, Netflix wasn't participating in the market rally anyways. You know, Netflix, here's the reality. Netflix is going to do its own thing until we see some kind of an update with regards to this Warner Brothers saga. So unfortunately, the market can go up all it wants right now because Netflix is, they're tied to these guys. Although WBD, failing off of that 30 level.
What is that for? A strip of acid? What was that you're trying to give me there? No, she had a piece of tape and she was like, "Do you want this?" I was like, "I don't know." And that's why I asked her, like, what is that exactly? Thanks, Ramin, for that. Yeah, Tesla, guys, is $40 away, like $45 away from $500 right now. Tesla, like,
100%.
It's a monster, Tesla. I mean, it's great. Like, absolutely great. So, like, love this stock. We talked about the AI advantages here and the robotics and everything, right? It's been really great to see this stock get higher. And I think it does, not that anybody in our chat are haters or anything like that, but there are a lot of people that cheer against Tesla, and that's completely fine too. I mean, there's so many other names in the S&P 500, literally 499 more names to worry about. So if you don't like this name, there's Rivian, there's actually, that's about it. You got Ford, of course. They've been moving higher as well. 1350 now for Ford. Great move there. 3% today for that. GM.
If you want to bet on autonomous, you don't even have to be in the car space. You can just buy Google.
Yeah. I love some Google.
The thing about Alphabet, for all that, everyone wants autonomous, you can buy Alphabet for that. You want AI, you can buy Alphabet for that.
Yep.
You want to buy quantum, you got Alphabet for that. It checks a lot of boxes. And, you know, they make boatloads of money and have a great cash position. The valuation's not ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just not bad at all. And sometimes
Google.
it's just an easier way to do it. That's why people talk about diversification. That's why the Mag 7ers are, it's like, oh, the market's so concentrated. Well, it's a little bit unique. The reason that it's so concentrated relative to before is you've never had a situation where this group of companies have their hands in so many different pockets of the economy where they have these like self-generated moats around them. To a certain extent, not all of them, not necessarily all of them.
Well, Google's going to be the leader in quantum. They're the leader in YouTube. Like they've got the social media stuff going on there.
Exactly.
But GM is the leader of the free world, it looks like. General Motors here, regardless of if this chart is right or not. Oh boy.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, like, what a move for GM. Like, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. I own this stock.
Bang, bang.
I got to get out of this stock pretty soon. Again, trying to raise some cash to buy more AI stuff, like an idiot that I am. But nice move to the upside right there, 81. I really like, so one of my plays that I've really done well on recently was IoT. We talked about Samsara. Really, really like this name, man. Bought this name in the mid-30s, high 30s recently. They've had a really good run here. Samsara, nice earnings report. We did talk about this. We even tweeted it out about a month ago that this was one that I was looking at. That is for sure. It is Samsara, one of the best. From one of the best to another one of the best. We have so many good sort of news, broadcasts, everything. She's brand new right now to the show, and this is her third day, I was going to say. It's Sia, everybody. Let's see what her update is all about.
From the FOMC decision today, Fed delivers a total of 25 basis point cut as expected and a total of 3 dissents we're seeing today from Governor Miron, Kansas City Fed President Jeffrey Schmidt, and Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee. Chair Powell delivered a quarter-point cut to the Fed's benchmark interest rate and mentioned that no one's base case right now is for a rate hike either. The conference also marked the 4th consecutive time there has been at least one dissent. And another thing that's super noteworthy here is that the Fed's target range is now at its lowest range than it has been since the latter half of 2022. Thank you so much. Back to the guys.
All right.
See ya.
Short and brief, accurate. We like it right there. I mean, Google at 321. I was really hoping that Google was going to get to the downside. There comes the imbalances right now, actually.
K comes out way smaller. So it was 14. It's now 5 to the sell side. That Aries is a buy, which is expected. It's going S&P. NVIDIA buy 1.4 million. You've got Walmart's a buy as well. So it looks like mostly buy side. I'm going to punch out flat in Intel there. CMCSA, nothing too crazy. Cisco, 1.2 in the other direction. So Cisco is a sell, at least. Just scrolling down to see if we find any other big names. Microsoft, 1 million to the buy side. So big cap tech looking like they're all buys. And then, of course, it's those big two, Aries and K, which is not a, oh, there it is. What the heck? That was.
Video with a bid.
Oh, it's all over the place. That went from 4 to 16 to 9. On K. NVIDIA is still 1.4.
Yeah, some good stuff happening right now in the market, obviously, as we continue to go out. It looks like we'll go out at not all-time highs, but close enough to it right now. We just showed you the SPY is right there. IWM is right there. And Powell goes, we're holding rates. And moving forward, they cut rates today. The hold looks like that might be the case for January. So we might not get another rate cut until, well, who knows when. We'll see that rate cut calculator as we go on. But here it is, man. The TQ's starting to go down. So, you know, I wish it was going a little bit more than this, but, you know, we'll be up on the Qs today. And it was just an overall a really good day, man. Here we go. Let's bring this down. Bring it on down to 80s? No, we did not get the 80 fill. My best fill was 87s. We are now, there it is. Now we get the 80s. Yeah, Liquorville, yeah, there was a Justin Timberlake there. It was a good one. Jimmy Fallon, I think we're doing some of that on Saturday Night Live. Okay, here it is, 79. Ooh, missed it. Okay, I'm just going to punch a little bit here, take some 82s. We'll see if we get a little bit lower. Hey, man, it's a 20-cent win. 20-cent win is a 20-cent win. We'll take that all day long. There it is. We get some more out as it continues to go a little lower right now into the close. 352, man. We're also bidding 74s there, then in the 60s, but we only have 20% left of this trade, so we'll see where it goes from here. But so far, so good on the futures short, man. We shorted the market. We waited for Powell to get out of there. Thought it was going to make lower moves, but went long right there as soon as the announcement was made. So that was a banger. That was a great trade, and we got out of a quarter. We held a quarter and got out for flat. Then we waited, very, very patient, waited for that move to come in to 57, which was a level that we had wrote before, and we're happy with it because with Powell on the mic, didn't expect much to change. He talked up a good game. It came up to our level. We shorted it, and then as we like to say around here, the rest is history. And there it is, man. We did it again, everybody. So congratulations and props up to anybody that believed in me right there. There it goes to the downside. It's a futures trade. We haven't hit this once, so we're going to hit it right now. We go back to the futures another day for another positive trade on the Nasdaq.
And thank you, Adara. We just remember we have earnings after the bell. We've got Oracle, 10% expected move, Adobe 7%, and Synopsys 7.6%. Those are the big names. Obviously, Oracle going to be a pretty big deal with regards to, the AI house of cards, as people like to call it. And this was one of the weakest stocks in the market going into almost a complete V-shape and then some. But for too long, everybody, trading has meant risking your own money. You know what? You might have also not had enough to start out. And that fear of losing kept a lot of traders on the sidelines. And that's going to change, or it is changing, because Trade the Pool is transforming how traders interact with the market. The limited risk trading model allows traders to use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. So traders can focus on what matters. Discipline, of course, consistency, and growth. And when you hit the profit target, you get to keep 70% of those profits. No fair barriers, just a real opportunity. The revolution of limited risk trading is powered by Trade the Pool, and you can visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. And we're going to go back to Adara.
Okay. He's just saying that CNN should be sold separately. He wants CNN to be part of the deal. And CNN should be sold. What a surprise that he says that. And of course, but I don't think that has anything to do, maybe not politically, but I mean, I don't know. It's just amazing that Donald Trump, no matter what you think of this guy, he doesn't need to be involved in this. Well, you know, this guy's...
No, he doesn't, but I would say this.
This guy's a little unhinged, needless to say.
If they were forced to strip out some of the things that you wouldn't want for Netflix anyways, and then Netflix gets only the things that might actually matter to them and pays a little bit less, that's not bad. That would be good for Netflix.
I've already made my bed
like that meddling wouldn't be bad for Netflix.
I just think he's always, it's fine. It's his MO, and it's fine to say whatever he wants. I just feels like, you know, what's he going to say next? He doesn't like this IBM deal, and then the next thing you know, this Confluent's going to start to go to the downside. Of course, he does have some family matters to deal with, as his brother, I keep saying brother-in-law, his son-in-law, there, Jared Kushner, involved in this deal as well. So we'll see what winds up happening. Yeah, with the financing, of course, with the financing, what a surprise. Netflix continues to go lower, though, so we'll wait to see. Maybe we pick up some more here at 88. We'll see what happens with Netflix tomorrow. Down a little bit here today, down 4%. And, you know, falling knife right here looks like to be the NFLX trade. I mean, look, we made money here during this afternoon. So it's been so far so good here. Trading the Qs. We did take IBIT. That's, ooh, stock blitz. Who hit that one? Fabian hit that one. Look. Oh, that was Ramin. Okay, Ramin or Fabian there. Thanks, guys. But there it is to the downside right now on IBIT. So we nailed it. We nailed the short call, but again, like the market went upside. So can't take a win. Well, a win is a win, but we had to get out of it. So there it is. Nice little move there. And we'll just wait to see now. I'm only in one position. It'll be the futures, and we'll just wait to see into the close where we go. So I'm just bidding 74s and in the 60s. We'll see if we get that fill or not.
Yeah, I was trying to get some. K has actually stayed like 13 million to the sell side, but like it's an $83 stock with like a 4-cent range today, so you can barely even get the offer right now to try to take advantage, and then sort of like just get in and then take the print kind of deal. But I can't get filled on this sucker, which is crazy. Lots of people trying to get the offer. 13 mil sell there. Aries is still a bit of a buy. Everything else, 355 came and the small imbalance was all flipped. So you're not going to see NVIDIA there anymore. You're not going to see Microsoft there anymore. All of those bids have gone away to the wayside. But as we said, the big names that are going to matter today, and for Adobe, it's like, okay, the 4 times we care about Adobe all year when they report. Oracle, a bit of a different story. We do look at this one, and we care about how badly they've been beaten down recently. So it would be good for them to reassure. I don't know how much the numbers are going to matter relative to, can you talk to us about needing to go into the debt market and the reliance on OpenAI? And you need some confidence because the market isn't very confident with Oracle over those 2 factors. So they're going to need to assuage some investors that way.
Oh. Remember, when the position board goes off, Neil takes a fill, not me. So there we go.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's back. Yeah. So, okay, here we go. Let's just go. Here goes the TQs down to 73, 74. We're getting more fills now. Yeah, it's whenever one of us takes a fill somewhere there. But there it is. Nice move to the downside right now. We're just covering more and more and more right now. So there it goes. Only 2 minutes left. And, just letting this sort of fill out. I mean, we nailed this trade. This was a good trade for us. We talked about the TQs there at the end of the day. We can quickly check here on the dollar and whatnot if I can find that. And it's right here, right now, on the VIX. So there it goes. That's the VIX, the DXY. VIX is fine. Like, I mean, as the market goes down, which is great for me, the VIX will be what it is. And there's the dollar just hovering right now, not doing a whole heck of a lot into that there again. All right, position board gone again there. So I'll speak to the guys. I'm pretty sure we know what's going on. And there it goes, TQQs here. We'll bid some 74s and just cover that position. And there we go. We are now out. There is no more positions for me. Good trading there at the end of the day as we wind up going long on the futures right there and then back to them for the short to really print out there. So again, another real successful Fed day. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We made a little bit of money. And we're pretty happy about it. So there it goes, man. Good job so far. Oracle coming tonight with Adobe.
Of course. And look, I don't know what time specifically. I didn't double check to see what time Oracle's going to be coming.
I got
about 30
Andre
seconds to go into the close. I did get something at least, but I couldn't get filled on K, so it's going to suck. But it is what it is. Oracle, the first one that's going to matter. Adobe, they're just a stock that's been in a world of trouble and going to be hurting a little bit. They haven't been able to catch a bid. Neither one of these two names have been doing well lately, but in about 10 seconds, we're going to close this bell, brought to you by AIML Health. You can check them out on the CSC, AIML, and we will ring it now-ish. All right, there we go.
Thank you, Gio.
Great show. Thanks, guys and gals. Big shout out to Adara, of course, always keeping all the news. On a Fed day, it's obviously going to be a little bit busier than usual, and Sia coming on there and being clear and concise as she has been every single time she's popped on. Shout out to the Midday boys as well, Joe and Sharif doing a fantastic job. I want to stick around, hopefully. I don't know how quickly it's coming. Like, if they come, like, if one of these pops right now, we'd at least be able to tell you what's happening on Oracle, but nothing yet for them or Adobe yet.
Thank you so much for all of the nice comments. We are back at 8 a.m., so join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. And we'll go over all this all over again, man. We'll have some reaction to the market. You know, we nailed that short at the end. We got it early. Good trading on the Qs over there. We traded some silver, some open door, and some IBIT there on the future, on the interest rate announcement today, which was a cut. So a cut of a quarter point. Thank you, Fabian. Thank you, Ramin. Thanks, Brendo, Sia, Andre, Sharif. Neil, of course. There they are. Hey, what's up, Ramin? And Fabian and Adara. Everybody, thank you so much. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Mark, for all the work he's been doing in the back as well. Joe and Sharif. Thank you to everybody. I saw someone do this. Sean, okay, there in the chat. Yeah, we're okay. That is for sure. The winning streak continues, man. Another net positive day. Very, very happy with that as we just continue to make that money here. And I hope you guys did as well. That's Neil. I'm Sean. Ciao till 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a great evening.
Good luck.